In Omaha, Nebraska, the College World Series continues. And once again, two proud programs on the field, each trying to go 2-0. The Cardinal of Louisville out of the ACC having one of their best years ever. And the Gators of Florida come on through the gates. First pitch is coming up. ESPN's continuing coverage of the NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. Glorious night, temperatures high, humid. Works well for the Florida Gators. They're used to this stuff, so they're all comfortable dancing around. And the Cardinals of Louisville, they are set to see if they can take the next step and win their 54th of the season. Earlier today, TCU in an elimination game. Big game, Brian Howard delivered a dozen strikeouts. Omaha native Ryan Merrill went yard, and TCU looked awfully impressive, partly because they had that big fella throwing strikes on the mound. They advance, send Texas A&M home, so A&M and Cal State Fullerton have been eliminated. TCU will get the loser of this game on Thursday, and the goal for both Florida and Louisville, join Oregon State, get into the driver's seat of this bad boy, and go 2-0. That is the most significant aspect of tonight, is just trying to stay unbeaten. Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, and Laura Rutledge will join us in just a little while. You go 2-0, you're in the driver's seat, you win one more, and you're competing for the championship that last year, of course, Coastal Carolina won. Let's break these two teams down. For Florida, it's all about pitching and defense. We saw a tremendous pitching effort in their first win.
Yes, and that's what they've done all season long, and they will continue to do so, and they've gotten to Omaha because of it. First game, it was all about Alex Faedo. He's dominated with that fastball and that slider, getting a lot of swings and misses. Well, Brady Singer is more of that two-seam fastball guy that can bring it between 92 and can reach all the way up to 97. Let's see who we're going to get tonight. But it's going to be exciting, and it's all because of the pitching that the Florida Gators and Kevin O'Sullivan have developed here in this program.
He's a second-round pick of the Blue Jays in 2015. Kyle, there are 16 draft picks between these two teams on the field tonight. And that includes the guy that was drafted higher than anyone else.
Yeah, a guy that potentially we thought could go first overall. Brendan McKay went fourth overall, still pretty good day. And McKay, that's about as much emotion, too, as you're going to see McKay show. We've seen him on the mound already in this tournament. We'll see him offensively today and defensively at first base. But for McKay, it is as complete a two-way player as we've seen in college baseball in over a decade. 340 with 17 home runs this year on the mound. One of the nation's leaders in strikeouts. Behind him is some right-handed power, and is Drew Ellis. He's a second-rounder himself. Between the two, combined to hit 37 home runs, driving close to 120 this year.
During our telecast tonight, we'll talk with the Rays general manager. What will they do with Brendan McKay? And what in the world is the name of that head coach for Louisville? We'll find out when we come back.
We're back in Omaha. Plenty more to come on Dan McDonnell and this Louisville squad, but it's a team that's dealt with heartbreak as their season has ended in super regional play at home the last two seasons. In 2015, it was Cal State Fullerton dogpiling on Louisville's home field, and then in 2016, it was UC Santa Barbara doing the same. Colin Lyman telling me they felt like they couldn't even move after these situations happened. They were so shocked that they weren't going to be going to Omaha. So this year, they had to figure out a way to avoid those losses and get back to Omaha, and a lot of that had to do with Dan McDonnell's philosophy, which was run to the roar. That's been their motto throughout this season. It's facing whatever you're afraid of simply and making sure that whatever the toughest task is ahead of you, you're not going to back down. They've run toward that roar throughout the season, guys, and it's served them well.
Running to the roar, that's their motto, and it has been for the entire season. We'll talk much more about other mottos that they have as we take a look at our Capital One batting order. Louisville will be the home team tonight, so it's Florida that bats first.
And it's all about Dalton Guthrie in the 2 spot. The other day got 2 base hits, went 2 for 3 with the run scored. He gets on, it'll take the pressure off J.J. Schwartz and Nelson Maldonado to be able to drive them in.
We've talked about Brady Singer. We'll get to this guy, Cade McClure, and what he brings to the table in a moment. First pitch, right through the sunshine into the shadows. He's in there for a strike to Ryan Larson. Out of Orlando, 6 feet, 190 pounds. And the center fielder trying to set the table and get on as McClure's second pitch is up and out of the zone. Well, we've been blessed with really good weather, but the curses for the hitters, it's nasty to try to see the ball. That went in there for a called strike.
Breaking ball there from McClure. You see velocity into the low 90s. One of his best starts of the year was his last against a great offense in Kentucky. Went 5 1/3 scoreless.
That one rides high. You got Troy Fullwood calling balls and strikes tonight. Mark Ewell's at first. Steve Mattingly down at second base, and Adam Doughty will be handling calls at third base. Two on the way through Umcam. That's got a piece of the plate. Strike three, as you saw it through the eyes of the home plate umpire.
We've seen Kate McClure already, and it's a very fast start from McClure as he strikes out Larson to start this one. From a stuff standpoint, you've already seen the fastball. It's into the low 90s. Could show you 93, 94. We've been as high as 94 already. The slider is very, very good as well. I think from a McClure standpoint right here, he's got to duplicate what he did last week, and he's going to show you probably 85% strikes, or excuse me, 85% fastballs if he does what he did last weekend. It worked against Kentucky, which can really swing it.
Well, there's a fastball right down the middle, popped up. You got a first baseman and a catcher converging, and it's the first baseman, the number 4 pick in this year's draft, Brendan McKay, who we saw pitching in the opener. He's at first base tonight, and he makes the play. So, Eddie, you got a fastball pitcher. I mean, primarily, this is sort of David Price in his prime, throwing 90% fastballs. You got to hunt that fastball right away.
You have to go after him quickly. This is the thing, though. I'd love for hitters to be patient early in the game, just to get his pitch count up. He throws a lot of strikes, but then again, you want to at least see it. With the shadows, it's a little bit difficult.
Pours in a fastball past J.J. Schwartz, the first baseman out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. 12 home runs, a .271 batting average. He's really their power source on this team. A little outside. The wind tonight blowing a little bit towards right field and out. And again, we've seen a rash of home runs. It's like an outbreak, relatively speaking, to what we've seen in years past.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
It just feels like it's playing fair. If you get it, it's got a chance to go. If you don't, somebody's got a chance to make a play.
I'll tell you what it looks like right now. It looks like easy cheese on the mound. Nonchalant, all of a sudden it's jumping at you. 94. As a hitter, tough.
This one is hit to right. Colin Lyman is right there, and a pretty efficient inning. 10 pitches in all, and we'll see the Louisville Cardinals come to the plate when we come back to TD Ameritrade. Now, Dan McDonnell, or Donnie McDowell, or Dan McDonnell, whatever you want to call him, and we'll have much more on that in just a moment, but his real name is Dan McDonnell. His teams have been outstanding since he's got over there and taken over. June of 2006. His teams have been outstanding since he's got over there and taken over. June of 2006, he took him to Omaha right away within a year in 2007, and this year 53 wins. Take a look at our Capital One batting order for the Cardinals tonight.
And the 2 spot, Colby Fitch. We know about the power of McKay and Ellis, but Fitch had 4 RBIs on Sunday against Texas A&M. Cannot forget about him, a very streaky hitter.
I like what you did there. We did a lot of talking about the 4-5 guys, but we'll focus on Fitch, one of the table setters behind Logan Taylor, and the guys that Brady Singer's got to keep off the base paths. First pitch of ball, and you saw just how much movement that pitch had on it. Logan Taylor hitting .275. 2-0, down a little bit.
Well, he's going to need that call there, because that ball has a lot of action. Behind the plate, Troy Fullwood better stay with that pitch.
See Rivera after that second pitch. The old attaboy right when it hits your glove, and you go, oh, hold on. Waiting to hear something from behind you, and Mike Rivera didn't hear anything.
It's good insight. One of the ways the catcher tries to get the umpire on their side. 3-1, and again, you can see just how hard that ball moves with a two-seamer.
That's an uncomfortable swing on a 3-1 pitch.
3-2. Logan Taylor can get on. He likes to go. He's got 22 stolen bases on the season, but he's not going to get on.
Well, now you've seen the stuff. I mean, it's going to be 92 to 95. We've already been as high as 95. We could show you a little bit more tonight. Brady Singer, the highest drafted player 2 years ago to get to college. It is electric stuff. It is in the mid-90s. I think as this game goes on, though, you got to make sure you slow the mental pace a little bit when Louisville gets on base, because they will test him at that point. Haven't seen the slider yet. 6 pitches, 6 fastballs, but the slider is a plus pitch itself.
Lefty Colby Fitch, as Eduardo talked about, hitting in the 2 spot for the Cardinal. Fitch Jr. at 5'11", 205.
See the average. The average is not that high, but he's just a streaky hitter. You cannot forget about him. Look at the on-base percentage. There's a difference, a 115-point difference between the average and that on-base percentage. If you're wondering at home, that's good. Anything over 100 differential, it's very good. Patience at the plate.
Everybody's sporting the platinum blonde. It's associated with the Louisville program. Down a little bit. 2-1. Colby Fitch, just think about the way that Dan McDonald puts his team together. He looks at Fitch as kind of a Schwarber-like, not necessarily a prototypical 2-hitter. And he keeps his thunder there at 4 and 5. That one is to third. Good hop, and India throws across the diamond for the out.
Yeah, it's not exactly prototypical. Colby Fitch has pretty good power. He has 11 home runs on the year. He doesn't run great. In fact, of all the guys in this lineup, he may run the worst. But they like the feeling of Evan Fitch in the 2-hole. McKay in the 4 spot, Ellis in the 5 spot. Won a lot of games with this lineup.
It's one thing about Louisville. Follow college baseball at all. You know, since McDonald got there, they're amongst the winningest programs in the country.
All fastballs.
No, it's not that. It's all fastballs, but all fastballs with action. And then you have the shadows to go along with it. It's not a true 4-seam fastball. A lot more difficult to pick up and see.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, there's no need to throw the breaking pitch right now. You'd be doing him a favor.
Yep.
Elevated right there with the motion. Watch this from the umpire's point of view. Oh man, just trying to saw. He's fortunate he doesn't have a wood bat in his hand right now. That's a lot of life.
Yeah, he'd be grabbing another one.
Splinters. Goodbye. That was pretty quick. We got ourselves a pitcher's duel through one. Singer matches McClure, and we're underway. Nighttime in Omaha, Florida and Louisville, each trying to go to 2-0.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere. And in part by Verizon. Not just unlimited, Verizon Unlimited.
Welcome back. Good night for ice cream. Great night for baseball. And it's good to see Nelson Maldonado back on the field. Last time we saw him, Laura, he was limping all over the place.
Yeah, had an ankle injury there, Carl, in the game against TCU. He was in a walking boot for precautionary reasons yesterday, but they say he's ready to go. He's a gritty kid, wants to be out there. They said they will monitor it, though, throughout this game, but I talked to him before the game. He said, no way am I getting out of here. And we probably believe that, considering the fact that he stayed in despite being hobbled seemingly throughout the majority of that game the other day.
It was all Kirk Gibson, Willis Reed on us the last time. You don't have to monitor it. You'd be able to tell right away if it was at all like it was the other night. Sophomore out of Tampa, Florida. He's got some power, 6 home runs, 32 runs batted in. It's kind of a 2-part injury. He hit it going around first base to tweak it, and then coming around third base, which we see here later in the game. he really injured it. And this was sort of the Maldonado move later in the game, and he stayed in the game. And Kevin O'Sullivan was like, can I ask a quick question? Why is he in the game? He can't move. Anybody? Why is he in the game?
That's who he is. He's all grit. Doesn't want to come out. Worked all year for this, to be here in Omaha once again.
Rips this one to left, and it is right at the left fielder. And a good job battling the sun, Josh Storrs, because that sun is right in his eyes.
And that's the one thing that Maldonado can do. He can't turn a fastball around. Patient has really turned himself into a very good hitter in just his second year at Florida. But Storrs, part of an outfield that they like to call the no-fly zone. Ball goes up in the air, and the boys can generally go get it. Storrs in left, Logan Taylor in center, Lyman in right. I didn't name him. I was told that's what it was. Rav, I saw the look out of the corner.
I
saw it.
I like that. That's a good one. I'm into the no-fly zone. I will say this year, not only do you have the big programs, we could do a feature story on all the great center fielders we have here. I mean, you got guys that go and get it. Watson and Flowers, Taylor here. No, I mean, I like Eddie. Where are you in the no-fly zone?
I like it. I like it. I think what Louisville has done, and they've been able to just have an edge in every position, everywhere. The outfield, they can run them down. I like the no-fly zone.
Think about great outfields at the major league level. Of course, the Red Sox have Benintendi and Bradley, and they were superstars at the College World Series. We've seen a lot of outfielders go from Omaha to the big leagues and do it pretty quickly.
Both of those guys were standing in center field at this very ballpark.
Good one. It's right past Jonathan India, 93 miles an hour. Just a note for the College World Series stat nerd geeks. This is game 8, and that was the first inning. The first time that it's ever gone 1-2-3 in both sides. Yeah, top and bottom.
Huh.
That is worthy of a. This one's going to be playable. Lyman, second time he's caught one.
I take it if you have the no quote-unquote fly zone, it's good then to have fly ball pitchers, right?
Got it so far. 5 outs, 1 on a strikeout, 4 fly ball outs. To be fair, I could have been a part of the no-fly zone on that last one. I've never been.
You would have been dancing under that
being
one.
a part of any no-fly zone.
That's the no Kyle zone. No Kyle out here.
I'd call it the don't panic zone.
Another one that's sent up in the air, but into the seats here. Another good crowd on hand tonight. Had outstanding attendance. And regardless of the outcome, you think about the games that you'll see on Wednesday and Thursday. Florida State and LSU, tremendous game and matchup Wednesday night, Thursday night. You get TCU, which looked awfully good today against the loser of this one. So you're getting some of the best college baseball games and programs through the course of this week and a half.
I would tell you, so 2 teams eliminated already. A&M earlier today, Fullerton yesterday. We have the best 6 from a talent standpoint left. And this is the power of the power in college baseball this year. And that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't always happen because it is such a unique game. But one thing that we've heard all the coaches in all of our meetings, we got to play a clean game. We got to be clean tonight. We can't make mistakes. No free passes, no errors. And the teams that haven't been clean have just lost. That one misses away. There is a real neat statistic about teams that have had more walks and have had more errors, and there it is. Teams that issue more walks so far are 1-6, and the team that commits more errors, not the same but more, are 0-4. So clean is something that the coaches are so desperate to see their teams deliver in the biggest spot possible at the College World Series. 2-2, foul back.
Well, these are teams that have dominated against lesser quality teams, and then what happens is you start giving them extra outs. You start just putting guys on base, they will go for the kill. They understand how to do that. Their head coaches understand how to take advantage of that with the personnel that they have.
Ooh, how about that slider? How about that? First 6 batters, nobody on base. And the best hitter in college baseball, Brendan McKay, number 4 overall pick in the draft, is coming up when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Two-way players, notable college baseball. How about Dave Winfield? Hitter, pitcher, Todd Helton, Mark Kotsay. Tim Hudson, of course, tremendous pitcher, great shortstop. Brendan McKay this season, first baseman, 340, 17 bombs, 56 runs batted in. Throw him on the mound, 11-3, 2 and a hook, 146 strikeouts.
Decent.
And the Tampa Bay Rays loved all of it, and they drafted him. And Eric Neander, their general manager, is going to join us in just a little bit to talk about McKay, what they think is in store for him when he starts his professional career. Because there's really 2 choices. And maybe there's a third choice. At some point, are we going to see, Eddie, a pitcher that they allow to DH or even play in the field on certain days? Is that coming?
The good thing is this. It's that it was an American League team that did draft him. So you could see him DHing. You could see him playing first on the days that he does not pitch. Again, it's going to be interesting because the numbers when he does pitch and hit at the same time are completely different than what you see when he just plays first base. It's a grind, the big league season. It's going to be interesting the way the Rays handle it and the way he accepts it.
He hit that one on the nose, but Dalton Guthrie is there, and McKay is retired.
You watch the swing, and it works. This swing works. It's tight to his body throughout, and he just swings, and that bat head stays in the zone long enough. Watch the action. Good throughout. Bottom hand used well. The top hand release point at the end. He just stays in the big part of the ballpark. Understands how to get that barrel to the ball.
You talk to Louisville players about McKay, and they call him a unicorn. They're like these guys don't exist the way that he is. And he's really been that way since he showed up.
So again, Eric Neander, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, in a few minutes. Drew Ellis bats now, the third baseman, batting 5. He does just about everything for them offensively. He can run. He's got 20 home runs, 61 RBIs. He slugged .720. Hit that one hard. Shortstop, tough play, but Guthrie
Yes, sir.
got it. Beautiful.
Defensively, Dalton Guthrie has shown you some highlight reel plays this year at shortstop. He had his own highlight reel the weekend that they played Georgia, just from those 3 games alone. He does that every play. So he's almost airborne when the pitch comes all the way in, lands right before it does, and that time gives a little bit more ground than you'll see sometimes. Gave him a little bit more time. Watch him field this ball almost behind him. Just a little bit more time to read the hop, then plenty of time to throw Ellis out.
All right, Eric Neander, the GM of the Rays, joins us now. We got 2 outs here, so we'll try to be quick, and maybe Eric stays with us. So you just saw McKay, I assume, ground out. Eric, thanks for joining us. Quickly, assuming we don't get an out on this pitch, tell me what you thought about the draft, why you went with McKay where you did.
Firm ground out. Firm ground out. Yeah, we were thrilled based on the evaluations and all the hard work of our staff to have the opportunity to select Brandon fourth overall. And we a unique situation for somebody that Brendan, our staff, thought as a pitcher and as a position player was the top of the draft candidate. So. The way we looked at it, there aren't many guys that have made it to this point in their career where that can be said about them, if any, in recent memory. And we don't know enough about how this is going to play out to try to take one of those 2 things away from them prematurely. We recognize the physical challenges of it, the mental challenges, et cetera, and if we are able to get him signed and get him in our organization, we'll be cognizant of all that. But he certainly has proven capable to this point, and I want to see where it goes from here.
Devin Hairston with a single, this one on the ground. So we'll ask Eric to stay with us during the break. We'll come back. Eric, you hang with us for a while?
For sure.
Thank you very much. Eric will stick with us. We'll take a timeout here. 1 over the minimum through 2 innings. 0-0, Florida and Louisville. Welcome back, everyone. Thank Eric Neander, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, for hanging with us. We're talking about their #1 draft pick this year, 4th overall, Brendan McKay. And as we went to break, I guess I was surprised, I think some others were, that he fell to #4. There was a lot of talk pre-draft. He could go as high as 1. He dropped to you. Were you surprised he was available at 4?
To some extent, looking at the board, looking at how we valued players, the 3 players that went ahead of him were exceptionally talented players, and guys that certainly warranted the selections that they were. But for us and how we lined things up, we were more than thrilled to have the opportunity to select Brendan.
Right. So I asked Eduardo, is there a possibility, because you guys are pretty progressive in the way you're thinking at the major league level now, is there a possibility, entertain the idea that you could actually have a player that does both, pitch, and then on the days he's not pitching, play in the field or act as a designated hitter?
Well, we're going to try to keep an open mind. As I kind of mentioned the last happening there, he's proven capable of doing it to this point, and that's something that few that have come before him have been able to say, at least in the eyes of our evaluators. So, we're not certain enough in how he's going to play out, and I think there's enough humility to not know how it's going to play out to let him dictate a little bit of it, let the game of baseball dictate and see where it goes. But obviously unique circumstances, but don't want to put a cap on his potential.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, it's Kyle Peterson. What are the plans for the balance of this year for him?
Well, he's obviously still competing here in the College World Series, right, and we'll see how that plays out. And we hope to get him in. And I think the first thing that we're going to want to do if we are able to bring him in, and we're hopeful, is to sit down and to learn more about the details of how he's been able to accomplish this to this point. Our staff spent a lot of time getting to know him. We have a decent sense, but to really focus on that and to lay things out. So, the fact that, he's logged a lot of innings this spring, something we're mindful of. The fact that the college season goes, full bore earlier than the pro season, something we're mindful of. So there's a lot for us to talk about to see where he is physically, but, we're hopeful to get him signed and get him to make the most of the summer professionally.
How do you balance college player versus high school player when you're drafting? Great question.
We'll take any suggestions and advice that y'all have, but it's tough. The development time, between realizing their potential and where they are, certainly a factor. I think it's a college player, the college talent, more about them than you do a high school player. They have time away from home. They play against the higher level competition. That's all factored in, but sometimes, the kids that are identified when they're 18 are the ones that have a chance for the most impact, and with that, you're willing to take on more of an unknown.
All right, well, you've been a curse for McKay and the Cardinal. We just had a home run from Austin Langworthy. But the good news is you got McKay in your system, and hopefully things continue to go well for the Tampa Bay Rays. Eric, we really appreciate you joining us, and good luck with him and with the Rays.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Eric.
You got it. Langworthy banged one off that foul pole down the line in left, and that was a long home run for an 8-hitter going the other way. Some oppo power, and the Gators jump on top here 1-0.
And this one was a surprise not only to the Louisville Cardinal but also to the Gators. The line drive opposite field hits right off the foul pole. A lot of you could say fair pole or foul pole, but it's a homer. That got out of here in a hurry also.
Langworthy, a kid that earlier this year was hitting third. I mean, they had kind of bounced him around, and I think the length of a college season has got to him a little bit. He's also logged some innings and important innings for Florida. So two-way guy himself over the course of this year. Kevin O'Sullivan said Langworthy, in his opinion, was one of the 3 best prep hitters in the state of Florida last year. So the freshman shows you why right there and puts the Gators on the board.
He also had broken his hamate bone. It seems like everybody went through that on this team, but he broke it, and he was really down from March 11th through April 11th. So here you are now in June, maybe starting to feel 100%. Big home run because McClure had looked so dominant through the first 7 hitters. There's a good pitch, and he's gone too. Go back to the home run, the swing. It's his 4th strikeout, too, by the way, from McClure.
Watch the location. He wants it outside. He hits the spot, but it's up in the zone. Only difference, and when you leave the ball up in the zone, things like this can happen. Good velocity, yet the bat path stays in long enough, creating the power, and you see the excitement of the Gators.
9th home run of this College World Series. Back to the top of the order, Ryan Larson. Fastball in there for a strike. You guys take away anything? The good question sort of comment about college versus high school player. At this level, obviously, there's a benefit to being the college player, especially in a program like these.
I thought it was a very honest response and reaction when you asked the question, because I do think, I've never sat in a draft room, but I have to think that one of the hardest things is to project a 17 or an 18-year-old kid and try to figure out what he's going to be when he's 23, 24, 25 years old. I think it's why we see, especially later on in the draft, after the first, second round, see a lot more college guys start going off the board, because it is easier to figure out. It's still an incredibly inexact science, but from a high school standpoint, man, that's hard. Kids that haven't lived on their own, they haven't been away from home, forget the level of competition, but there's a lot of variances that go into it.
How about 5 strikeouts, 3 innings, but down 1-0 after the Langworthy home run. The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. Ferris wheel cruising, good night to be up there. We don't have any of those scary clouds that present those storms.
I was looking at the Zesto. Now I see the Ferris wheel.
Probably see it from there.
No doubt you can see it from there. Pretty good pitcher's duel as the bottom of the 3rd starts. Brady Singer's got a 1-0 lead. Josh Stores to be followed by Jake Snyder. We're at 8-9 and then 1 for Logan Taylor. Pick up that conversation because you guys both went to college and then you were both drafted. What's your thought on it, Eddie? I
would actually treat the position players from high school just like they do right now, but the pitchers, I treat them differently. I try to get and emulate as much as possible the college program. Sign a kid from high school, put him on that college program as a professional if you sign him. And you pretty much use them for those 3 months out of the year. They can pitch competitively, but the rest of the time they're training. They're getting ready. You rotate them in and out. You shorten their season up. I think 5 months plus all the throwing and spring training, the additional stuff and extended spring training is too much. I think they get fatigued. That's my personal opinion on it, just to try to get those arms healthy. There's no reason to try to overdevelop at such a young age. You're not going to get them in the big leagues until 4 or 5 years after.
Yeah. Well, and because of that, instead of, I mean, aside from the top line guys, okay?
Right.
And I was talking to Scott Boras about this a few years ago, and I thought that the idea was a very, very good idea. Is essentially, from a business standpoint, if you limited the draft to 2 rounds of high school and that's it, everybody else had to go to college. You go to junior college, you go to 4-year college, whatever. And then the rest of the draft is only college kids. Your efficiency from a major league standpoint and the percentage that you're right goes way up. Because when you look at the percentage of high school guys that have success, once you get past the 4th, 5th, 6th round, it's minuscule.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever do it, but I would tell you that I think it would give you a better read. And from a return on investment, I think the return on the investment at the major league level would be significantly better.
You know, there are 2 schools of thought with the college programs. Is that one side says, well, you get into a program and you're in one of the better programs and they take care of you, you have the facilities to work out, there's nutrition, they monitor you, and then the other side will tell you that sometimes they don't have the best interest of the individual in mind, they have the best interest of the program in mind, which sometimes flies in the face of the other.
And the most important part is the maturity level that you have. Forget about the physical part, though, but the mental part, the experience part. Going to a classroom, being responsible, being around your peers, and again, getting that education.
Yeah, let's not forget about that.
Getting the education itself. These are student athletes. They're out there competing, but not only on the field, but in the classroom.
Well, let me ask you this. Is that different for a baseball player versus other sports? Because let's be honest, in other sports, the classroom, and by the admission of some of the athletes, isn't something they're too interested in doing. Now, the requirement of college, you go for 3 years
Or you're 21 at the draft. Yeah, one or the other.
Does that make it more of a quote-unquote student athlete than perhaps other sports?
You got to be eligible for 3 years. I mean, I think, yeah, I think it's fair. Mr. Singer, by the way, looks pretty good.
Yeah, if you like the 4 strikeouts, the fastball and the slider, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, there's life, and he's ahead in all these guys.
Yes.
You look at it, the fly ball's 0. It's 4 ground outs and 4 strikeouts. Talk about having a nice balance.
Ball that's out. 1 and 2.
Logan Taylor was the first strikeout victim. He led things off. The senior from Lexington spoils one there. Eddie, does the delivery of a Singer as a hitter, I mean, it's almost like he's gone from 0 to 100, and you got to be real ready once he starts because he delivers it quick.
You have to have your load early when you use your back leg. Right there, too late. You cannot pick that up. Then you have to rush. If that slider would have been appearing like a fastball and then disappearing down and away, he would have tried to hold his swing back. You have to be early, especially how quick he is, rocking back and getting into a set position.
So Taylor down to first walk for Brady Singer. Now Colby Fitch. I think Singer, I think there's some question about whether that was the 4th ball or the 3rd ball. I think we actually had 2 and 2. And I think that's what Kevin O'Sullivan's coming on out to check. It's very easy to check.
Yeah. So did I here.
I think it's ball 3, guys.
That's a heck of a sail though.
I mean, listen, we can roll this back and figure it out right here.
Very quickly. I had 2 and 2. When I saw him go to first, I'd be honest, I bought it just like the home plate umpire Troy Fullwood. I thought he knew something I didn't know.
Let's see, this is what the shadows do to you.
See, this is a problem here because they're asking people who may not actually have seen or counted every one when they're clearly.
Here's my thing, okay? And I know we don't technically have replay on this. Why don't we just go back and show the replays and figure out how many pitches it was, and then whatever that was, let's do that.
They're going to replay.
Because that's where we're going to go.
Good.
They're going to replay. Just
Awesome.
look up. I'll tell you.
I like it.
Just look up. That's all they have to do.
What's the count, Eddie?
3-2.
3 and 2.
Let's go.
Back in the day when we were umpires, right? You used to have your little clicker in your pocket, and you would always click it forward. They don't use the clickers anymore?
Do you guys have umpire days?
Yeah, sure.
Did you umpire?
Did I umpire?
Yeah.
No, but I took an umpiring class.
So I umpired, and I had to go. Remember like those old pillow things
Of course.
that you had to hold? So you had to go pick it up from the guy's garage. Okay,
That's
1.
2. 2-1 count.
Yep.
3-2 count.
No,
3-1.
no.
That's 5 pitches.
It's a 3-2
I counted.
count. It's a 3-2.
I counted 4 balls there.
No.
3-1 count right there when he walked.
No, that wasn't what happened. No. It's a 3-2 count.
We're pretty quick. The shadows again.
The first 2 pitches they
Watch all 5 pitches.
Okay.
First pitch.
That's a strike.
Right.
And
That's a ball.
1 and 1.
And that's a
Okay.
strike.
There we go. You're right.
1-2.
And that's a ball.
2-2.
And it's 3 and 2, and
3
he's
and
going to
2
run.
and he walks. Yep, you're right. 3-2.
Bring it back.
Look, 2-2 right there. He even says it.
Yeah, I had the pillow, though, with that.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you one thing. I mean, we get hammered by different folks on social media just sitting up here. The worst walk of shame was when you knew you made the bad call and you got to walk by the parent when the kid's in the car crying. And I had one of those, and I'm like 11, and I'm feeling like awful. Like I can't believe what I just did. I'm pretty sure I was the right call. He was out at home, but I'm really questioning myself. And boy, seeing that dad look at me like look. Little Sparky's in the car crying.
Yeah, and your payment for the game, like you get paid a snow cone for doing it.
75 cents and a ticket to the hot dog stand.
Yes.
I don't want anything. I'm going home. I gotta lay down.
Make sure you bring the pillow back too.
All right, here's your 3-2. He's gone. Headed to first, he goes back to the dugout. And Brady Singer keeps rolling along. 5 strikeouts.
Back with Florida head coach Kevin O'Sullivan. And coach, you've talked about Austin Langworthy's talent as a hitter. He goes opposite field for the home run. What did you see on that hit?
He just put a good swing on the ball in the outer half of the plate. Luckily enough for us, the wind's blowing slightly out to right, kept the ball fair. But, you know, he had that handmate, injury about halfway through the year, and it's a hard injury to come back from in the college season. But we knew he was going to be a good hitter for us. He was hitting the middle of the order for us to start the season. So hopefully things feeling a little bit better.
Brady Singer, your thoughts?
Fastball is moving all over the place. Slider seems to be on point. It's down, and we've got to play good defense because obviously Louisville's got a great offense, and the whole thing for us is to keep his pitch count down and play great defense in the infield, and it makes some quality pitches. But he's been throwing the ball very well.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Carl.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Kevin. And he talked about the same thing we did with the handmade bone. And the good news is it's television, so everybody got a chance to see the home run while we were talking with the Rays general manager. Brady Singer's 5 strikeouts and 4 groundouts. And now back to the offense for Dalton Guthrie. In there for a strike. Both pitchers pouring balls into the strike zone tonight.
Yeah, this is fun to watch when guys are out there filling up the zone. Stuff for both has been very good. Each has only given up 1 hit. The difference is Langworthy's went about 350 feet to left.
Center field, Logan Taylor blocks the sun with his glove and makes the play. One of these programs have in common, they preach look, let your defense, trust your defense. Instead of trying to strike everybody out, we got some pretty high strikeout numbers, but trust your defense. The guy we just saw, Guthrie's already made a couple of good plays. How difficult is that for a pitcher to really buy into the fact we're not going to make mistakes behind it?
You know what I think a lot of it is you have to see it first.
Sure.
So when you see it a few times and when you make that pitch and the minute it comes off the bat in the back of your mind you go, no, that's in the gap. And then you turn around and it's not. The guy makes a play. You start throwing a contact a little bit more because the trust kind of works both ways. The infielders, outfielders know you're going to throw a lot of strikes. And ultimately you know that you don't have to miss bats. There's nothing wrong with getting it out on 1 or 2 pitches. That means you're going to be out there long.
I don't know if a lot of pitchers are used to being out there long. The good thing is for these pitchers going today, they've been out there and they continue to throw strikes. No experience on a complete game from the Louisville side, but from the Florida side, you got 3 complete games from Singer.
Brady all plugged into that. Get that hand being cooled off.
The glove hand, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Eddie's got one of those for his knee. Just recently had knee surgery. He's got one of those he plugs into when he goes back to the room.
Absolutely.
Schwartz on the ground to short. Good play. Hairston's one of the best in the country.
We see Brady Singer getting cooled down over here, guys, and it's a really unique system that they've got going. You see it plugs into his shoes and cools off his feet and then also cools off his non-throwing hand. The thought is cooling down your core temperature with this machinery, and anybody else can plug into the foot part too if they want to. I tried it out actually earlier in the game. My feet were getting a little sweaty, so I plugged in. It makes a world of difference, and for Brady Singer, a guy that can get a little bit warm in games, especially hot games, this really helps him out.
Well, that was your fault, Laura. You walked from the hotel over to the park tonight. That was sweat-inducing the walk itself.
Just trying to be a gamer, guys. Step up.
She just wanted to hook up to that machine.
Laura's a gamer. 92 degrees in Omaha right now for Nelson Maldonado. Right fielder, one of the measuring sticks is how you play in conference games, and he was outstanding during the SEC portion of the schedule. Hit over 400, and he slugged over 544. Earn your keep in those SEC games, and Maldonado was terrific.
He's patient. I think the power's going to continue to come, just a sophomore, but getting 308 on the year coming into this ball game and an on-base percentage close to 460. 49 walks, 22 strikeouts this year for the sophomore.
49 walks, 22 strikeouts.
That gives you consistency.
4-pitch walk, rare for Cade McClure. Hey, for more on the 2017 College World Series, including the interactive bracket and highlights, log on to NCAA.com. Florida had to win elimination games in both the regionals and super regionals. The super was a weather disaster. It just rained and rained and rained. They had like 9 hours of rain delays. Games took 2 days to play. They had some challenges, but they also had the pitching to get them through it. Brady Singer had to come out of a game in which a rain delay was called, and he lost his mind, understandably, but he lost it.
He pitches with a ton of emotion. That's the one thing Kevin O'Sullivan talked about last year when Singer came in. Pitches mad. I think that's just fine. There's a lot of guys that pitch better with emotion. Others better if they don't show too much. The key is knowing which one you are.
Jonathan India bats.
Oh no, did it go?
No swing. You know, Singer very well could be one of the top, and likely will be, assuming health and success, one of the top draft picks next year.
He's going to go really.
Yeah.
Got a live arm.
Yeah. We've seen a few sliders tonight. We haven't seen many just because he hadn't had to use them yet. But
the other decision that obviously these major league teams have to make on these kids they draft, especially the pitchers, is what do they become when they're in the minor league system and on their way to the majors? Relievers or starters? And does that change the way that major league teams are emphasizing relievers?
And Singer is a guy that absolutely projects as a starter. I mean, the stuff we haven't seen the changeup much. The changeup actually is a decent pitch. He just doesn't have to throw it very much. And with a Louisville lineup that, at least so far, hasn't forced him to go away from it. We'll see if we see many tonight. But
when you say projects, why? Because he has multiple pitches as opposed to a reliever who may have two? What's your basis? And that one is going in the
that's
right.
Gonna work.
Off the bat of India, Maldonado is going to hit second and head to third. And the Gators in business here with 2 down in the 4th.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is you have 3 pitches that you can project, and it doesn't mean that they're 3 absolute major league top line quality pitches, but you have 3 pitches, and the changeup is the one that Singer will need to grow the most when he gets into minor league baseball. This time for Jonathan India, just a good job. Just get that bat out there, make something happen. Flips it into right field, 2 outs. Maldonado's moving on the hands. Now the Gators have something cooking. After Cade McClure got the first 2 out pretty quickly. 2-out walk to Maldonado, a single to India, and that'll get Roger Williams on his way out to the mound for the first time today.
Do you see anything in what McClure was doing a little differently, having threes through 3 1/3?
He's fallen behind the last 2 guys, and that's something we haven't seen him do very much today.
Sometimes you got to give the offense credit on this. They've already seen him once.
Too.
They've seen him once. They already know what he has. He's shown him the fastball. He's shown him the breaking pitch. Second time around the lineup, this is what the elite teams do, and especially with elite offenses. Maldonado stays within himself with the break, with the off speed and the fastball, gets his walk, and allows Jonathan India to get that base hit to right field. Putting pressure on him, and Deacon Lippett, it's his turn now to see what adjustments he's made from the last strikeout he had.
You watch the bottom line here go by, you see all sorts of NBA news, trade news, draft rumor news. McClure is a huge Cavaliers fan, in fact a diehard LeBron James fan. So with what's happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers and their general manager position and Chauncey Billups' name being rumored, McClure has at least kept one eye on what's going on there, but dealing with a more important task right now here at the College World Series. Drafted by the White Sox, where his buddy Mitch Trubisky, who went to the same high school that he did, he's also going to play professional sports for the Bears. So you get Trubisky and this guy, Cade McClure, who could both very well end up in Chicago playing professionally. Trubisky was FaceTiming with McClure the night before the Major League Baseball draft. McClure went in the 6th round, 177th pick overall to the White Sox and Rick Hahn. 0-2. will say I'm not a proponent of the mound meetings and how often they occur, but there is a correlation between mound meeting and then it's sort of immediate success. It feels that way.
Bang, bang, right there.
It just feels that way.
Roger Williams with the quick words of advice. Cade McClure's back ahead of another guy 0-2.
Oh!
Runner goes. They throw to third instead, and diving back in is Maldonado.
We got time.
Remember, he's the guy with a bad ankle, and now it looks like it may have affected something else, diving back into the bag.
Wrist? No. What you got? My arm.
His arm, he's saying. You can hear it. There's a microphone located right near the bag.
Good. Just came out a little bit. Then it looked too hard on that thing. Nice and easy. You good. You didn't come all the way out, did it? No, it didn't. Nice and easy. You good.
Watch his shoulder. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. See that right arm extended when he went back into the bag, kind of jammed his shoulder back.
He's not coming out, though.
No, he's not going to come out.
There's no chance. I'm telling you, after what I saw 2 days ago here with his ankle, you're going to have to pull that bad boy out of there. I don't even think that would get him out.
See that right arm get extended. He's a little bit closer to the base than he thought. Just bang right there. Jam that shoulder back in.
Guarantee you, Coach Kevin O'Sullivan's thinking, this kid's not coming out. I don't know what we're doing out here. Looks like the third base bag again has snuck up on him. 2 days ago.
Trainer out, O'Sullivan out, Maldonado stays. He's the right fielder, so you really won't know if there's any impact until he has to either make a throw or perhaps swing the bat again.
I will tell you this, base hit to right field, if you're on base and you're a Louisville Cardinals player, I am testing this arm.
Yeah, you got to see it. That's for sure.
That was the other night when he re-aggravated an ankle that he had hurt earlier in the game on first base. And he limped around, but he stayed in the game through its duration. And here he is again on third base. Part of what could be a pretty significant inning for the Gators. They got men on second and third. And Deacon Lippett behind 1 and 2. Hit .417 in the Super Regionals. This one is driven to right, and back goes Lyman. He's back at the track. He looks up. It's gone! A 3-run home run for Deacon Lippett. Couple of home runs tonight have powered the Gators. First it was Austin Langworthy, and now a 3-run shot behind in the count, 1 and 2. And Lippett takes him out.
And that's what hurts the most. 1-2 count, pitch down and in, wheelhouse for Deacon and any lefty in the game. Watch how he goes down with his legs, gets it. And he knew it right off the bat, making really good contact. Third home run of the season. And this one really hurts the Cardinals.
2 outs. Nobody on in this inning. 2-out walk, a single to Indiana, and kind of a check swing to right field, and then Lippett puts it in the bullpen.
And obviously Maldonado was hurt, but you wonder if the fact that he had gotten ahead 1 and 2, he was in a groove, and then he had to wait while Maldonado was being tended to. First pitch after that break in the action. Driven to right, now he's just hit. No, they're telling Mike Rivera to stay.
Stay right here. No. 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 You got to make an attempt. You didn't make an attempt.
Mike Rivera and Troy Fullwood having a bit of an argument. Like, I don't really have to get out of the way. And Troy's saying you got to make a move to try to get out of the way. This wouldn't play at the major leagues where you see guys leaning in, let alone not trying to get out of the way. Take a look at it.
I think it's the right call.
I like it.
I think it's the right call.
It certainly could have avoided it.
I like it. Right there, it's going to hit him, but you see that left elbow
There's
just
a little move right at the end towards it.
There is, and that's all it takes. It hits him right in the funny bone, too. It's hard to wear it.
Here's the thing, all right? if Louisville had just done that, Kevin O'Sullivan would be out arguing the exact opposite if they put him on first base.
I don't blame him. That's
Without
his
a
job.
doubt. Without a doubt. Now, he's got to protect his guy, and I totally understand that, but the reality is I think they made the right call.
80-mile-an-hour pitch. 10th season for O'Sullivan. I'm not sure if you had seen that graphic. 10 home runs at the College World Series already, which matches last year's total. Wind blowing out to right, and that's where Lippitt sent his 3-run shot. Rivera goes to right. The wind's blowing out that way, and on the track, dropped by Lyman. Rivera to second, and he's in there. And you cannot help but kind of go back to that topic earlier. Clean games, fewer walks, fewer errors, and right now Florida's winning that part of the battle.
Well, I can guarantee you who was blowing it out besides the wind. It was Abuelo Willie in Puerto Rico pushing and pushing on this one. But that's a ball that if you talk to Lyman, he will tell you in the no-fly zone, that cannot drop. That usually does not drop. 9 out of 10 times he makes that play.
So after taking one off the elbow and being told to stay at home, Rivera ends up on second. They give an error to Lyman out there in right. And here's Langworthy, who homered his last time up. Seventh batter of the inning for the Gators. Maldonado, whose shoulder was jammed, diving back into third, being tended to by the trainer, or at least asked questions. Brady Singer sitting right next to him. Well, the way Singer has been pitching, a 4 spot feels like a pretty big digit for him.
Yep, I would agree.
Third trip in a row to the College World Series. Florida Gators have been here 6 of the last 8 years. That one's going to get out of play.
He's trying to go the same way he did last time for the home run.
Langworthy's not afraid to let it travel right here.
Not at all. Let's see how he executes this 1-2 pitch. Last one against the lefty. And Stephen Lippitt went over the fence on a pitch fastball down and in.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Cade McClure. That one is going to get into the seats as well. Lower bowl at TD Ameritrade is all filled up again. It's Gators fans and Cardinals fans, college baseball fans have turned out in droves enjoying the beautiful weather and the great college baseball for this 2017 edition of the World Series. Playing it in downtown Omaha since 2011 here at TD Ameritrade, and this year with the flatter seam balls, got 10 home runs. And we're on night 4. Really critical game for both these teams. The winner will take a few days off and be 1 win away from getting into the championship series. The loser is really tested. They'll have to win 3 games in 3 days to reach the finals.
Oregon State has already done that.
2-0. Nasty slider. And Langworthy tried his best to get in the way of that throw to first. I mean, he was looking to intercept the pass on the way down to first. He's got a home run, and the big one came in the 4th. Right there off the bat of Deacon Lippitt. 3-run shot. Gators chilling right now, up 4-0. Welcome back, everyone. Omaha, Nebraska, the heartland, with Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, Laura Rutledge. I'm Carl Rabbit. Delighted to be along for this College World Series. Florida's got a 4-0 lead over Louisville. So Brady Singer gets the ball and gets back on the bump, having allowed just one hit. He has struck out 5 Cardinals hitters. Dan McDonald's team is now going to have to play from not only behind, but way behind. Very efficient 41 pitches. And if you're striking guys out, you're going to have that go up a little bit higher. But the first pitch to Devin Mann is in there for a swinging strike. Check that, Colby Fitch.
Oh! 1-1. Hold the 2-1.
Singer had been down a little bit at the SEC tournament against Arkansas. It's almost as if they knew what the heck was coming. He threw 1 inning, and they jumped him for 7 hits, 11 batters, 8 runs. This one to left, Langworthy didn't see it right off the bat. Now he finds it, and he's there for the out. 1 down.
Okay, so we talk sometimes about balls coming out of the same window. Watch this from Brady Singer. So on the left is a fastball. We're going to stop it about right there. Now on the right is a slider. We're going to stop it in almost the exact same spot. So as a hitter, now we got to make a decision. Which one's going which way? And for Singer, what makes it so tough is from that point, everything looks the same until it gets there. Slider, down and away. That fastball has that boring action in towards the right-handed hitter. Tonight, 45 pitches, 80% fastballs so far. He's been efficient, and he's filled up the zone with both.
Well, the Cardinals just sent half their team out to the bullpen. See them all filing in. Singer has thrown 80% fastballs tonight. There's a little backdoor slider that came in on the front hip. Real hard pitch to execute. Usually it's not what they're trying to do, but it's one of the more effective pitches for a pitcher. On the ground, shortstop, Guthrie. 2 down. It's amazing what a 4-run lead can do to you, how it relaxes you.
I'll tell you the other thing is I think it allows them to keep a little bit more in the tank. So everything doesn't feel like it needs to be absolute max effort with every pitch. Singer's gone deep into a lot of ball games this year. I mean, over the course of the season, he has 3 complete games. That's all the complete games that Florida has as a staff. So he's learned how to get to that point of a ball game. And when you have to exert and go max effort, when you can keep a little bit more because you might need it in the 8th and 9th.
Well, it has to do with the movement that he has on that fastball. He's learned at a young age to be able to pitch the contact, and you got to give a lot of credit to Kevin O'Sullivan for that. Super Regionals came in after a rain delay, threw 4 brilliant innings, then came back through 2 brilliant innings again in the Super Regionals to get them to where they are now.
His numbers in the Supers are kind of silly. 6 innings, albeit broken up innings and bullpen innings, but 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, no walks. Quick work of Mr. McKay. Florida staff, 21 straight scoreless innings.
Back with Louisville head coach Dan McDonnell. And coach, 2nd and 3rd time through the lineup, how can you make some adjustments against Brady Singer?
He's really good. Fastball's got a lot of life on it. He hasn't been at many 3-ball counts. He's not giving us any free bases. We've had a couple good swings on it, but the goal is we got to get him in the stretch. We got to get guys on base. Obviously, that's been the challenge. So hopefully we can get a couple guys on base. We're able to put together a little rally.
Cade McClure is a competitor. Back on the mound here now. How would you like to see him bounce back?
Yeah, the most disappointing thing is the 4-pitch 2-out walk. I mean, that's just a mental lapse. And then you put yourself in a bad position against a really good club. I like the way he's been attacking the zone. It's just that one mental lapse. So just stay aggressive, trust your stuff, and give us a chance to get back in it.
Thank you, Coach.
You got it. Thank you.
Carl.
Thanks, Laura. That was to Nelson Maldonado, the 4-pitch walk, which led to a single by India, then the 3-run home run. 2 home runs tonight for the Gators. Deacon Lippett, a 3-run shot. Austin Langworthy, a solo shot in the 3rd. And they're back up again. Only 1 hit for Louisville, and that's been their only base runner. Brady Singer has been outstanding.
It feels like one of those nights tonight with Singer that he's going to have to give you a little something, put a few guys on, hit a few guys for Louisville to score 4 or 5 runs in this ballgame, because it just does not look like you're going to string 3 or 4 hits together in 1 inning against him right now.
Christian Hicks, that one is down the line. It's going to go foul.
Yeah, there's only been 1 solid swing that I've seen against Singer, and the whole time it was Devin Hairston with that base hit, that 2-seamer that he cleared his hips, was able to hit it to left field. Everyone else, it just doesn't look comfortable at all, even when they're ahead in the count.
Let's update that Florida pitching number. It's now 22 consecutive scoreless innings, which is their longest streak of the season. And again, the significance of trying to go 2-0, it puts you back in position with Faedo. It gives Singer an extra day. You don't have to play back-to-back-to-back games. Huge deal. If you can go 2-0, and you see that statistic, 23 of the last 27. Eventual champions started off 2-0. Loser in this game gets TCU on Thursday. We got Florida State and LSU tomorrow night, and those are elimination games. Good pitch and a good start to the inning for McClure as Hicks is denied. Now give us a little glance into the front view versus rear view mirror as you look ahead to the elimination games that we have.
We got LSU Florida State tomorrow. We know that LSU is going to throw Jared Poche. Florida State, what do you got, Eddie? Have they announced?
They have not announced yet, and it's going to be interesting to see who they go with. Zerzo threw unbelievable in the regionals to get him to the super regionals. He could be one. It could be Sands also that can go. He was their Friday night starter.
And obviously TCU, a club that has been here 4 straight years, staves off elimination earlier today, knocks Texas A&M out of the postseason for the 3rd straight year. The previous 2 years did it in the Super. This year they do it in an elimination game here in Omaha.
They're a little tired of seeing them.
A&M has not won a game in the College World Series since 1993.
They could be back next year. Wasn't this supposed to be, if there is a rebuilding year? I mean, this was supposed to be for A&M one of those take a step years and then get back to it next year.
I think each of the last 2 years prior to this is when we thought they'd be here, not necessarily this year, but they ran into Brian Howard. And if you run into Brian Howard in the postseason lately, usually means he's going to get you.
Brian Howard is loving it, guys. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious by his emotion in that big win over Texas A&M. But he told me coming into this week, he wanted to really take advantage and take everything for what it is here in Omaha. He said from every little kid that comes up to ask him for an autograph to what it feels like to run on and off the field to head to the mound, he wanted to soak up every single moment. He said it's just unbelievable that we've gotten to come here 4 straight years. He said that just doesn't happen, and he wants to enjoy all of it.
He's right.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It does not happen.
No, I mean, if you get to see this place once in your time in college, that's usually something you'd be pretty happy with. I was fortunate we got to see it twice, but all 4 years when you're there, that's unheard of.
Don't you become a Nebraska resident? I mean, you come here 4 years in a row with all the time. You have to start paying taxes.
Yeah, he better not sign when he's still here. They'll send him a bill.
Anybody with the nickname Big Game, there's a reason you got to earn the moniker, unless of course your first name is James, and then it sort of just flows. Big Game James, but there have been some James who haven't necessarily been big in big games. His name's not James. He was huge today.
He was. Wait till you hear him on a mic too now.
I like that.
He could roll through a call 3 or 4 innings by himself. We had him. We were down at Texas series earlier this year. We had him calling inning for us out of the dugout. It was outstanding.
Really? It was pretty good?
It was beautiful. Yeah, he's a riot.
Well, Eddie's going to do the Dodger game tomorrow night, and we'll be in the booth. Maybe he sits in your seat. give Big Mac the night off. Let's get big boy Brent. Let's get him in here.
Well, it'll be a big boy. It'll be Big Ben. Big Ben will be doing the game, pinch hitting for me while I'm out of here. Then I'll pinch hit for him on Thursday.
We can talk to you tomorrow, though.
Yeah,
we're going to talk to you?
Oh, yes. I'm going to be over there and loving it over there in L.A., and you guys will be here. I will be watching every pitch, though.
Good.
One of the neater parts of being at the College World Series, we saw it more recently with Vanderbilt and the personalities when all the teammates made fun of Dancy Swanson. Louisville's got personality. I mean, these are college dudes. They like to have fun. The Arizona kids last year, goofballs.
So what I liked, we were talking to Dan McDonald today, when he talked about when they get to this time of the year, it's like the preparation, we've already done it. I mean, it's not to say, I mean, you game prepare and make sure that you understand who you're facing and everything else, but there is a component of taking your hands off the wheel from a coaching standpoint that's healthy. And I love hearing that from head coaches when they get it. There's enough other things to worry about. I love spending time with that guy, man. He's
a fun talk.
He is a big-time college head coach.
Yep. Good listen. And the great part is the respect the players have for him and the fact that they're able to have fun with him. So key. Right back up the middle. It goes off the glove of McClure. Out at first base. Devin Hairston had it, traveled with it, but he still was able to get Guthrie at first base.
Player of the year might have just stolen out on first base right there, too. Now, you've been there. I haven't been there very much, but what this move by McKay. Go get it and get out of there. Go get it and get out of there right now. Watch him just walk it off because he's safe. Walk it off, get out of there. Don't even peek and make him tell you got to come back. National Player of the Year might have stolen out on first right there.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. 4-0 here. We just talked about personality. Earlier today, Laura had a chance to talk with, we believe, Dan or Donnie McDowell. Laura?
Joined now by Louisville assistant manager Donnie McConnell. And Donnie, when you think about the importance of this game, what do you think's the biggest thing that you need to send a message to these guys about?
You know, it's a 1-0-1-0 game, and my guys, we're going to run right towards the roar, Laura. And, the guys are ready, and they know what they got to do, and it's going to be loose, and we're going to smile a lot, and, we're going to do it.
What's the technique with the sunscreen application?
The key is zinc oxide. It really blocks out the sun, and I put on my lips, I put on my nose, and, we're trying to use as much sunscreen as possible here, and, it's working out.
Thanks, Donnie. Let me get you back to work, okay?
Yes, thank you. You look great, Laura. Thank you.
Donnie. My boy Donnie.
So the story behind that is Dan McDonald, which is actually the name of the coach of Louisville, has been referred to in any number of different ways than Dan McDonald. It's been Dan McDonald, it's been Don McDowell, it's been Dan McDowell. McConnell he's laughed at a few times, and he's got a great way about it. Oh, what a play by Guthrie on a line shot. Little knuckler, and he's able to make the play. So you saw one of the players there do the imitation, and it's pretty spot on.
Even that, now Dan doesn't have it on, but most of the time the towel is draped over like it is right there. So Ryan Summers playing the part of, what was it, Donnie McDowell, Donnie McConnell.
Yeah. That's beautiful though, and it's great that the skipper allows for the fun to happen. He doesn't care what they call him, but his wife does. That's for sure. She gets upset if they don't get the name right.
He's a very, very relatable guy, and that you can do that with 18, 19-year-old kids as well as the adults and the boosters. You get some obligations as a head baseball coach, especially with a program this size. He balances it beautifully. He's even colored his hair, and that dude colored his hair. Dan did the same thing. They've gone a little platinum. Used to play at the Citadel, actually came to the College World Series.
Yeah.
Still got a whole host of buddies that are part of a group chat. Gets texts every day, often making fun of him. Very well regarded too in the industry, not only at the collegiate level, but in other levels as well, all the way up to the major leagues. Nasty from Singer. He strikes out another one, his 7th strikeout.
That's action. That's action, and that right there, unfair. We're talking about a 93-mile-per-hour pitch. You're a right-handed hitter. You see it right there, and then all of a sudden it just dives in on you. Watch this angle. Tough to pick up with the rotation because of the shadows, and then to add on at the velocity at 93 with that movement. One thing that I see him doing today that I haven't seen in the past is there's action, there's down and in action. It's usually a cross.
Yep. I think that's the biggest thing when you watch Singer. And to nitpick anything that we've seen tonight is really nitpicking, but I'll do a little bit of it. When he gets hit, because it's always going to move. He can't throw the baseball straight. It's always going to move. The difference is it flat or is it moving plane? Because if it's moving plane, it's a thanks for coming night. Because he can live on that two-seam fastball for most of the ball game, and the slider is a real major league quality pitch. That one kind of cast on him a little bit. But when he gets over the top of it enough and it gives it that sink instead of getting around it, he's about unhittable when he's right.
You can't be on TV with the dirty state.
Well, he was on TV with it.
And he didn't care.
No, he didn't much mind.
Beaten into the ground, charged by Lippett for the out. And another efficient inning for Brady Singer. As he goes 3 up, 3 down. We're through 5, 3, 4, 5. Due up the College World Series. Gators, Cardinals, as we remind you that our NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. Celebrating home runs tonight, Austin Langworthy and Deacon Lippett with a 3-run shot. Brady Singer has been lights out tonight. 5 innings. He's given up just 1 hit, and he has struck out 7. We head to the 6th, the TD Ameritrade. Schwartz, Maldonado, and India due up for Florida, and Kevin O'Sullivan has got him right where he wants him right now. Singer doing what Alex Faedo did in his first game. J.J. Schwartz has played in a handful of NCAA tournament games. In fact, 30 of them. He's got 29 runs batted in those 30. Hit that one hard, smothered there at third by Drew Ellis. Really good play.
It's another name that I think you're going to hear for a while, Drew Ellis, and he had a missile just a minute ago to Dalton Guthrie at shortstop that he had to fight the sun to make the play at short. But defensively, he is very smooth over at third. Goes to the backhand side, knows who the runner is, has plenty of time to make that strong throw across the diamond. But Drew Ellis is a kid that really came on this year. 20 home runs, 3 of them in the Super Regional alone.
Nelson Maldonado was the guy who was walked on 4 pitches in the 4th inning, and that, unfortunately for Louisville, and McClure opened the door. Led to another hit by Jonathan India. Maldonado went all the way to third. Jammed his shoulder diving back into the bag on a pickoff attempt, but was all right, stayed in the game, and walked home on a Lippett 3-run shot. There's a strike on the bottom of the strike zone at 91.
Maldonado will be spending a lot of time in that training room, taking care of that ankle, that shoulder, but he'll be out there.
Maldonado's got a 100-point differential, lefty versus righty. It's 286 against righties, 386 against lefties.
Got both of them warming up for Louisville right now. Sparger, the righty, Adam Elliott, the freshman lefty, up and throwing in a Louisville bullpen.
Right off the chest protector of Colby Fitch.
1 and 2.
Gators went 0-2 last year at the College World Series, so they've bettered that already. Now trying to go 2-0. Coastal, the team that won it all last year, beat Florida in the opener.
We've seen a little shift.
2.
First 2 innings, 1 inning for sure, but first 2 innings for both McClure and Brady Singer, it was almost all fastballs, just fastball, fastball, fastball. In the 5th inning, both of them threw more breaking balls than fastballs. So as this game goes on, you're seeing an approach change on both sides.
Just plugged back into that ice machine. And didn't miss by much. McClure would like to take another look at that one. It broke, but it broke late.
3-2.
So far, Troy Fullwood behind the plate has been very consistent.
Yep.
Missed a couple pitches, but that's okay. Still giving you the zone, the consistent one. Making sure he knows it's a 3-2 count.
On the corner, strike 3, Maldonado gone. Strikeout number 9 from McClure.
Guys, Drew Ellis at third base. He was drafted 44th to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals had a draft party on that Monday night of the draft. And when he got a call earlier in the day, it was from the Boston Red Sox. They said, we're going to take you at the 63rd pick. So as the draft kind of went on and on, a couple of guys started to leave, and Coach McDonald was like, yeah, you know, Drew will be taken later, so everyone go on and go to bed. And then he ended up hearing from the Diamondbacks around the 42nd pick and said, hey, we're about to take you. And so Coach McDonald called everyone back from the parking lot and said, get back over here. You got to celebrate with your teammate. And Drew said it was awesome to see everyone running back in as he had just found out he was taken a lot higher than he had expected.
That's a great surprise on draft night. Slow roll to second, charged. And an easy out. Good inning. Head to the bottom. We're 5.5 in. Florida's got a 4-0 lead. And Singer coming back up, having faced just 1 over the minimum. There is the former great College World Series player, Michael Conforto, now with the New York Mets. He leads them in those offensive categories. And the Mets and the Dodgers are coming up next with Robert Gesellman on the mound for the Mets. Brandon McCarthy will go for the Dodgers. Dan McDonald has a little meeting with his team, trying to get them going offensively. Speaking of offense, one of the stories around baseball was the Anthony Rizzo slide or collision. Austin Hedges behind the plate for the Padres. Major League Baseball came down on the side of the Padres, said that the Rizzo slide was illegal, that he was creating contact. Rizzo still playing for the Cubs, and tonight hits another leadoff home run for them. Josh Storrs retired on one ground ball to the second baseman.
How many bats do you think Singer would have broken tonight?
6.
There was another one right there.
Yeah.
That would have absolutely
2 of them would have been foul.
casualty.
2 of them would have been foul, 4 fair.
He has set 11 in a row down. Who was it? Schwartz that earlier this year broke one of the bats?
Broken half.
Yeah.
A metal bat in half.
Really?
Vanderbilt. Yeah. She started helicoptering out into the infield. You got to realize this is a really good offense that he's facing tonight. Louisville, over the course of the season, they've played 3 less games, scored 100 more runs than Florida.
You know what that tells you? Pitching dominates hitting. Good pitching can dominate any type of hitting.
Well, it looks like this, it does.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chokehold tonight. Louisville has not been shut out this season. They've played 63 games. They haven't been shut out. That one over the head of Dalton Guthrie and into left field. Good piece of hitting by the 9-hitter, Jake Snyder.
It's good to see Jake Snyder, the freshman, getting a start at the bottom part of this lineup. Last weekend against Kentucky, he faced a left-hander named Zach Thompson that's going to go in the first round here a few years ago. Came back in and said, I have never seen a left-handed fastball like that. don't know if he's seen too many Singer fastballs like he's seeing tonight too, but the second time up, struck out the first time, second time, shoots a single to left field.
Here's Logan Taylor in the tournament, hitting .333 coming into tonight's game, but he has been twice a victim of a Singer strikeout.
I'm just surprised the ball got by Dalton Guthrie over there, just out of his reach. He's been dynamite at shortstop.
Guthrie's got some fancy footwork. Every time a pitch is thrown, he's already jumped once to get his feet moving for him.
Love that about him.
Something Dustin Pedroia does at the major league level. Bottom of the strike zone for a strike. That ball is driven to center field. Ryan Larson there to make the play. 2 down.
And we talked about the movement of the feet of Dalton Guthrie. And watch him right here at shortstop. Always with that little hop. Gets in position. Feet always moving. And he funnels everything towards the middle. Again, you see it right here. Look at the footwork. The patience, knowing exactly who the runners are. Love this about him. I see a lot of shortstops that are flat-footed. And that first step doesn't work. Again, always moving on any pitch, every pitch at all time. That's why this kid, Dalton Guthrie, won the 7th round to the Phillies. 6th round to the Phillies.
6 feet 185, and that ball that just went over his head was only the 2nd hit of the night for Louisville. Now Colby Fitch. You can also see Brady Singer in the way he's delaying and sometimes hesitating with his pitches to make sure that Schneider doesn't drift too far off first base and become a threat to steal. It's a team that has stole 97 bases on the season. 70 home runs for Louisville on the year. Check swing, and it's going to go foul.
Yes, yes.
Dan McDonald was telling us today too about how college baseball is very regional in their way that they recruit players. You look at Florida's roster and it's made up almost primarily of players from the state of Florida. Louisville likes to blanket the Midwest. Fitch center field and tailing away from Larson. He's not going to get it to third base. And standing up there is Snyder. A little something cooking here for Louisville as Colby Fitch delivers.
Swings are getting a little bit more aggressive now. Snyder hit a ball hard to left. Now Fitch comes up. Both of them left on right. Both of them trying to take the ball either the other way or into left center field.
Sullivan may have seen something with perhaps the base runner. Colby Fitch over there at third base. Let's take a look at what the question's going to be to Adam Doughty. Does the third base coach hold him?
Jake Snyder coming around.
Oh, that right there. You cannot do that.
Now, that's father-son, boys.
You can't do that.
That's father-son. Jake Snyder, the base runner's dad. Eric Snyder's the third base coach. I don't think there was anything intentional about it. In fact, he's trying to move that arm away, but Kevin O'Sullivan was right.
He was on it.
Any contact, coach and base runner is an out.
I think Dad was just too much on the line right there.
see if that break figures into this one now. 2 outs, 3-hole hitter for Louisville. Devin Mann coming up with runners on first and third, and really the first true scoring opportunity that Louisville has had in this ball game.
Under replay reviews here at the College World Series, that is not a reviewable play. So an extra chance here for the Cardinals and Devin Mann. First pitch strike. Good pitch, and he's ahead 0-2.
Stay here, stay here.
Man struck out and grounded out to short. Colby Fitch is not a real threat to run at first base. The 0-2 in the dirt. Nice job by Rivera, man. That's a run if it gets by him.
Moves like a cat on that one to his right. That's the only thing he could do. Backhanded. He can't get in front of this. Watch how he sees it. Backhands it. He's fortunate to go right in that pud.
Pud. I like that. I hadn't heard that in a while.
It's been a while.
Right in that pud.
Oh, no.
Oof. It's down. Good spot, but down.
2-2. Slow down.
Got to stay on that mound.
Yeah, that type of play Rivera made, you ask for clean games, that's a run if he doesn't stop it. And it will probably not even be remembered when the game is over. 2-2 on the corner, he strikes him out. Brady Singer pumps his fist, he picks up his 8th strikeout, and he quiets any Cardinals threat.
And giving up just 1 hit in the ball game, gave up 2 in the inning, but a strikeout look and ends it in the 6th. Gators 4-0.
We're back, everybody. Florida's got a 4-0 lead over Louisville, and the armchair umpires at home curious about that non-call of any interference at third base. The NCAA college baseball rulebook. A base coach may not physically assist a runner in returning to or leaving the base. Physically assist.
No assist.
I don't think you could argue that that was an assist.
It was contact.
It was definitely contact.
I think the key is Dad pulling that hand back. He pulls it forward. Then there is an assist.
So we'll go to the bullpen, and I thought Kay McClure was pretty darn good today.
Really good.
2 swings end up accounted for 4 different runs. It was that 2-out walk that ended up changing the course of 1 inning. So now a freshman left-hander, Adam Elliott, on for the 22nd time. Elliott used exclusively out of the bullpen this year, 32 2/3 innings, 23 hits allowed, 31 strikeouts.
And he's going to face the guy that took McClure deep for a 3-run shot, so a different look. Deacon Lippett. And the first pitch from Elliott is down and a ball.
I like bringing him in here in this situation. You have 3 lefties coming up out of the 4. Perfect situation to bring Elliott in.
Lippett squares. That's a strike.
0-1.
Cade McClure started a couple of games, had an ERA just south of 5, which is a little bit high. 8 quality starts for McClure, so he's out of the game. And now Elliott, a 128 batting average against lefties.
2-1.
Louisville's bullpen's been a strong point all season, and in their first game against A&M, all 12 men that the bullpen faced, they retired. Ripped, and that's not a retired batter. That's a hit. Real good sign. Deacon Lippett in a homer, and now a hard single through the hole.
Guys, after Deacon Lippett's home run, he came charging into the dugout, and he was most excited about pouring a bucket of ice water on this trainer, Aaron Hoey. Before the game, all the student managers decide to pick out who they think's going to hit a home run in a game. If their guy hits one, he gets to douse him with ice water. Not a bad deal.
The deep pool. I like that.
That seems a little backwards now. Like if you're right, you get water dumped on your head. Hey, congratulations. You were right. Now wear it.
I'm in on that. 92
You're
degrees.
in on that.
We got half the players plugging into ice cubes.
Let's do that tomorrow. Let's do that tomorrow. You pick your guy.
Right.
I'll pick mine. Ben will pick his. Howard will pick his. If you're right, we all dump water on your head.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm so happy I won't be here. I am so happy I won't be here.
Well, if we're wrong on all of them, when Eddie gets back, we dump it on him.
Or they do it in L.A.
Yeah.
They can do it. They got water in L.A.
No, but no. I'm limited on clothing, man. You can't do that to me.
The story of the lost luggage continues.
Just send me a memo to make sure I take my carry-on with me.
Mike Rivera with a man on. That pitch is high.
Guys, be aware here. 1-1 situation, no outs. You're up by 4. Good time to put a hit and run on. Mike Rivera, 232 hitter, but he will makes good contact on left-handed pitchers. I wouldn't take that big of a lead if there is a hit and run on. We'll see.
Go. 2-1.
Here, Colby Fitch yelling encouragement out to Adam Elliott. A little sense of urgency in the 7th inning. Singer cruising along for Florida. And a bit of a missed opportunity for Louisville in the last half inning when they had 2 on.
That's an aggressive one-way lead.
Explain that.
One-way lead is just try to get the pitcher to throw to first. You get as big as lead as you can, but as soon as he makes contact, you go back towards the bag. That way you can see his move. The coach can see his move also. Some left-handed pitchers don't like throwing over to first base.
Yeah, there's one in the major leagues that's got a heck of a living by not doing it.
A couple of World Series rings, yeah. John Lester does have a pickoff this year. He did do that once. Finally, Adam Elliott throws over, so he's proven he can do that. I think Lippett's having a really good time. I think Lippett feels good. That hamate bone, as you heard Kevin O'Sullivan talk about, is healthy after he broke it back in March.
Careful now.
You're the catcher.
Careful. It's one thing to shake your head. I don't know if you want to point at it.
Remember, Rivera was hit by a pitch and told to stay at home plate. He and Troy Fullwood not right now on the same page.
Yeah, but now he bought insurance. He has that elbow protector now.
Yeah.
He didn't have that before.
Yeah, he's a few innings late.
Yeah. And the premium went up, didn't it?
Oh! Ball.
Well, earlier on that fly ball to right field, I said Abuelo Willie, which is Grandpa Willie, and that's one thing that Mike Rivera wanted me to let his grandfather in Puerto Rico know, that he sends his regards. I know you're watching. Pues un gran saludo a Abuelo.
Speaking of that language, tomorrow night we have a baseball game, right? Isn't that what tomorrow night's all about with the Dodgers and the Mets?
We will, and I'll be flying out there because it's the baseball experience tomorrow, the game between the Mets and Dodgers, and talk about a little bit of the history of the Latinos in the major leagues from the 50s on. I think it'll be really good. The same crew that is there now will be with us, and also Marley Rivera will be joining us.
Latin American influence and the impact that the Latin American players had on the game of Major League Baseball. And you can't help but think about the Dodgers and, of course, Fernando Valenzuela, who still is very much a presence at Dodger Stadium every day.
He is, and you talk about Major League Baseball. You talk about also the collegiate sports.
Yep.
Right now at the plate, also Nelson Maldonado for the Gators.
Right. 3-2 to Rivera. Good pitch, and another one pulled foul.
So many Latinos have passed through the game in college baseball, and it's an avenue, it's a way that education has helped, and you can go back and help your you can help your status when it comes to the educational part by playing NCAA baseball. Again, for me, it was impactful playing at Florida State for 3 years. I have friends, if it's Luis Garcia that played at LSU.
Play.
Luis Alicea played at Florida State also.
I'm in that book.
Jose Cruz, you are.
Yeah.
Rivera, gap shot, center field, and it's going to get down. That is going to bring Lippett around. He's going to score. Rivera with nobody at second, a stand-up double and an RBI. And the Gators look awfully strong tonight, lead it 5-0. Bullpen tonight, or at least Adam Elliott, ineffective for Louisville.
Well, you talk about bringing in the lefty because 3 out of the 4 hitters are going to be lefty, but this pitch out away, Rivera goes with it, runner at first base on the move. And when you hit it in the right center gap in this ballpark, as big as it is, and you're already in motion, easy to score. Good piece of hitting by Rivera. Willie, un gran saludo, that's a double. You get that, Kyle?
I did. It's a double.
That one's on you, Abuelo Willie, Grandpa Willie.
He's smiling ear to ear right now. It's 2 doubles on the night for Rivera.
Langworthy with a home run, squaring a bunt. With nobody out here in the top of the 7th as Adam Elliott came on in relief for Cade McClure, who had pitched really well in spite of the score on the scoreboard.
Don't like it.
Throw to third, and a good play for the out.
I don't like it. I love that you're pushing and you want to get that extra. You want to get that extra run. I like that. What I don't like is if there's a runner at second base, the bunt goes to the third baseman. Make it easy on yourself. You're a lefty bunter. It's easier for you to just lay it down, go to third base, and make sure that that third baseman fields the ball. It vacates the bag. You have a catcher at second base. You don't bunt towards first. You don't bunt at the pitcher. You bunt so the third baseman can make that play. Fundamental baseball.
I think he was safe, boys.
I think if they ever had instant replay.
Watch this. Watch his left.
He's out.
No,
I think he was out, guys. I think he was out.
Good call, Kyle.
Yep. You see that replay showed right there. He was out. He slid in. He tagged him in a spot before his foot got to the base, which means you're out.
Somewhere Chris Burke just threw something.
Good breakdown.
Just told you that.
I got it. You got it.
Oh, man.
You take it.
And I'm spent.
Hey, what's the count? 2-2.
Stay hot.
Yep.
Stay hot.
Can we throw a bucket of water on him?
No, that only happens if you're right. I was wrong. I should dump water on you guys.
Well, Rivera was quickly up and arguing that he had gotten in there safe. Major Leagues, you're just pointing to the dugout. Replay. Runner goes. Hicks swings and misses. Throw down and out.
I think he was out.
I'll tell you what, though, this inning, 2 guys already thrown out in the bases.
Yep.
Especially that lead runner after that bunt. And I guarantee you, as soon as he gets back to the dugout, they will let him know you have to bunt that ball to third base. All this could have been avoided.
You know what? This is a pretty good job by Colby Fitch, too, because he knows he has so much time. It's that long hop to the shortstop. Doesn't take the chance that ball's going to get airmailed.
He's letting him know you have to bunt to third base. Runner at second base, that goes to third. This is coaching. This is why this program is good and so consistent under Coach O'Sullivan. You don't wait. You let them know right then and there.
2 strikes on Hicks.
It's a little frustration because you work on it. These are the little things. He knows that at this level right now against teams like this, you cannot give away outs.
Hold it out. 2-2.
Troy Fullwood's been really good tonight. I think his zone has been very, very good.
Well, and you can hear it with the microphone, but he lets the catcher know right away why it's being called what it is. Ball, and it's out. Kevin O'Sullivan in his 10th year at Florida, 444 and 207. The coach of the year in the conference in 12 and 14.
Hold that ball.
That's another one that's out.
3-2.
I say he's going with the curveball here for the freeze. Oh, the heat. 1-2. That could be 1-4.
Playable by Drew Ellis, the third baseman, and he's there to make the play. So the Gators had a chance to add some more. They end up with 1. It's 5-0. NCAA College World Series from Omaha, presented by Capital One at TD Ameritrade Park. Both teams on the field tonight, 1-0, looking to go 2-0 and get into a driver's seat. Sitting right alongside Oregon State, the Beavers, awfully impressive, a 23-game winning streak. Oregon State 1 win away from playing in the College Championship Series, which will begin on Monday. One of these two teams looking to do the same and go 2-0. Oregon State, 2006, 2007, back-to-back NCAA championships. As it says, the winner here will be off until Friday and then be 1 win away. Brendan McKay and Brady Singer. This is a matchup here in Omaha that we will eventually see again at the major league level. 4th draft pick overall by the Tampa Bay Rays. McKay, and that guy right there, likely a top 5 pick next year by some team.
Did he go?
Ripped, and that ball was absolutely hammered by McKay as he sends it to right. Takes a wide turn, and he's going to keep going. He puts some pressure on Maldonado, and he's in there, safe at second base.
This is great hitting and smart base running. If you look at right here, pitch right down the middle. This is fundamentally sound swing. Staying behind, perfectly done. But getting out of the box, he knows it's right field, and he understands that Maldonado's hurt with that shoulder. He's going to test it. Slips a little bit there, but easy. Maldonado's just lobbing the baseball in. Flips it right there, drops it, and just watch this. He has nothing on that shoulder right now.
I'm surprised he's in there defensively. I'm surprised he's still in there.
So am I. But we were 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it 2 days ago, but you're up 5-0 late, and I think defense now clearly plays a premium.
Sure does. Now Drew Ellis bats. He pulls that one foul. This is, again, though, just watching McKay and the balance and the power in that swing is the conundrum that the Rays are going to face, because you don't find left-handers that throw the way he does growing on trees either.
It just feels like, though, in our discussion earlier today, I don't know that there is a conundrum right now.
Well, right now there's not.
I think you let him play, and if it becomes a choice, it means that both of them have worked fairly well.
Is there a Madison Bumgarner sort of component to this, where we see what he does when he hits, which is not often, but when he hits home runs? McKay seems like a very polished
he can just
hitter.
I mean, there's very good power. He has 17 on the year, but this year there's been a significant jump up in power.
I'll tell you what I do. I let him hit.
Yes,
I put the pitching in the back burner.
Right here. Yes, he got you with the ball. He got you.
I would bet that they do the balance of this year. I mean, given the innings that he's thrown and the innings that he's thrown the past 3 years, I think you just let him hit.
Guys, the reason Brendan McKay throws left-handed is hilarious. He has 2 older sisters, Jennifer and Heather, who played softball, and he was trying as a child to mimic the underhand softball throwing motion, but he saw everyone doing it right-handed. So when he was mimicking it in the mirror, he was trying to make it look the same, ended up doing it left-handed just as a result of that. He said otherwise, he probably wouldn't have thrown left-handed.
That's a good story, Laura. That's a good story.
The amount of dads who are going to be forcing their 4-year-olds
in the mirror
to hold a softball in the mirror over the next 2 weeks will be astounding. This will get you taken 4th overall. You're going to do it again.
Buy big mirror. Check.
Yes.
Get softball. Check.
Well, they lived in a neighborhood there in Ohio in which the backyard just was not big enough, basically, to hold Brendan McKay. So Dad would come home from work, and every night Brendan would say, Dad, let's go across the street where they had a big park. And they'd say, let's hit and pitch. Let's hit and pitch. Let's hit and pitch. And they probably at that point had about 10 or 12 baseballs. So he would, of course, hit them, 100 yards away. They would go pick up the 10 baseballs and start the process all over again until dark. And his dad and mom said, look, I still work. One's a bank teller, the other employed, said, I gotta work. In spite of the fact that our son was just drafted, we gotta go. We got jobs to do. 4th overall pick again, and he's collecting trophies.
Yeah, has already won the Dick Hauser Award, which is one of the 2 Maine National Player of the Year awards. One of 4 finalists for the Golden Spikes, and I would say the favorite to win that one as well.
Dad Bruce is a contractor. His mom Kim is a bank teller. Still got to work.
Well, that check that's coming from the Rays is just handed over to Mom.
Still drive the same car they bought in high school, and they have taken him all over the world when it comes to playing in tournaments. Actually bought that car before high school. So all those junior tournaments, they would drive up and down the Midwest, East Coast, anywhere that there was a baseball game for Brendan McKay to play, he played, and they were the ones that were there for him.
What a no.
And that's not unique to the McKay family. On the ground, that one is going to get through. Here comes McKay around 3rd. Remember, Maldonado's shoulder is hurt. No chance to throw it in, and not sure they were going to have a play, but certainly with an arm out there, they may consider throwing it home. Wonder how long they leave Nelson Maldonado in right field.
Well, this should be the last thing that they do. So, I mean, you look at a ball right now, hit down the line in right field or in right center, or over his head. I am sending Colin Lyman from first base. I am sending him all the way home.
Josh Dorse. Brady Singer has now thrown 90 pitches.
And McDonald wondering,
stopping.
Yeah, whether or not Brady Singer's coming to a stop.
Well, he's had 3 balks on the season.
Runner goes. Throw down from Rivera. Good throw.
Oh, he had it.
Oh, and he dropped the ball.
He had him, but he dropped it.
Good throw. The ball was dropped out there by Lippitt at second base.
Lippitt's not in a great position to field this throw at second base. First look, and let's see if the replay shows the same thing. It looked like he was all the way behind second base.
He was behind the bag, got there late. Look where he fields this baseball. Yeah. That's not fundamental baseball at all.
No.
I mean, he's trying to catch it and trying to also avoid the runner right there. He has to be in front of the bag or on the bag.
That throw was good enough to throw him out.
Storrs rips one in the left, and that stolen base. Will it pay off? Here's the throw from Langworthy. They hold the runner up, and it's blocked. And Louisville starting to put something together now that they have Brady Singer throwing out of the stretch.
They give up 1 hit in the first 5 innings. He's given up 5 hits now in the last 2.
And rounding third right here. Watch this. It's 5-1. This is what you have to do. You have to hold him up at third base. That run doesn't mean anything. You can't get yourself out of a rally in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a very good hold at third base. Now you got left on right, third time through. Jake Snyder got a base hit off him last time, so this was a perfect hold, perfect situation right now for Louisville.
Third time through the batting order. We talk about it all the time, but the third time through the batting order often presents challenges for pitchers. 4 hits have been allowed on this third time through.
I take him out.
Right now?
Yeah, I take him out. I take Nelson Maldonado out of right field.
Maldonado,
You
yes.
thought I was talking about the pitcher, right?
Yes.
I was guilty of that too.
I know. I did it on purpose. And again, you're warming up your pen. This is your guy on the mound. I get this. This is perfect. But Maldonado right now, any ball hit, that's 2 runs in the gap. This cannot happen. I'm in shock that he's still out there in right field.
It ended a 24 consecutive scoreless inning streak, and there's Maldonado. He jammed his shoulder earlier in the game, sliding back into third base. And it appears very evident that he's having a real hard time throwing the baseball with any sort of velocity, let alone distance. And all of a sudden, Louisville has strung a double and a couple of singles together in this inning. Jake Snyder already has a single. He hit it to left field his last time up. That was the 6th. That one runs away. I saw Tyler Dyson out there.
I would get him going, because that was probably the biggest miss that Singer's had today on a fastball. Rivera was trying to go all the way in the inside part of the plate, and he had to reach on the outside part of the plate to catch it.
Not 93, 94 anymore. It's 91. What is 94 is the amount of pitches he's thrown.
Lyman on third, Storrs on first. Storrs 22 stolen bases on the season. That one is way inside.
2-1.
You get late into the ball game, that glove side fastball that Singer's trying to throw, and he's tried to throw it 3 times in a row, and he hasn't gotten there at all. It gets more and more difficult to throw as you get more tired, because now he's trying to make that pitch with all arm instead of allowing his body to go that way and follow all the way through that front side. Earlier, the finish was there. That pitch would start off the plate, come back over. Right now, he's kind of willing it to that glove side.
3-1. Just what you were talking about.
Well, you end up pulling it. You get tired, you end up pulling it there because you're trying to make that pitch with your arm instead of throwing over your front side and finishing it.
2 arms pumping in the bullpen. Last time they saw Dyson was game 3 of the Super Regionals when he was outstanding. He gave him 5 innings of relief against Wake Forest. He struck out 7 and allowed 2 hits. Cardinals fans getting red in the face cheering on their team. Big 3-1 pitch coming up. Snyder, the 6-foot, 185-pound freshman from Champaign, Illinois. Runner goes. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Now what do you do?
I'd go get him. And I wouldn't have said that 2 hitters ago, but it has been very different this time through the order. Very different. And the one thing with Logan Taylor, he's probably not going to beat you with one swing there.
That's his first walk that he's allowed.
The next guy can beat you with one swing.
Yeah, I don't think O'Sullivan's going to make a move. He took a few steps.
Logan Taylor really hasn't had good swings against him. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Doesn't get the call, and it's ball 1.
Guys, watch the outfield here. Look where the center fielder is at in this situation. For me, Larson has to be more on this side here. That's where the action is. Instead, he's in pull. I don't like that. I like to see more help with Maldonado in right field.
2-0.
Well, the pull is happening on the mound right now, too, because Brady Singer is trying to pull everything on that side. It's just not as much finish, and I think Kevin O'Sullivan is having an internal battle right now, trying to go back and forth between what you see on the mound right now with Singer, which is he is out of gas, and in the back of your mind what you want to happen. But the eyes, these last few hitters, show you a very different Brady Singer stuff-wise than we saw up to this point.
Logan Taylor, the senior captain, Lexington, Kentucky. A 400 hitter with runners in scoring position. He was taken all the way. And now 2-1. Sullivan pulling hard for his pitcher Singer. He gets the ground ball to short. To second, they get the force, then they leave him loaded. He rode Singer, and the horse delivered the big ground ball out to end the 7th. It'll stay 5-1. Trust your gut, and it worked that time for Kevin O'Sullivan. This one is driven to right, and back goes Lyman. He's back at the track. He looks up. It's gone! A 3-run home run for Deacon Lippett. Good baseball game here at the College World Series tonight. The score 5-1. Louisville just had the bases loaded, and with 2 outs, they get a ground ball to end the inning. Langworthy and Lippett the homers. Brady Singer just earned some stripes in the Kevin O'Sullivan world by getting that final out. And now the 6'5", 200-pound senior out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Jake Sparger, comes in to pitch. And here are his numbers on the season for Louisville.
It's a complete Louisville pitching staff. 2.87 ERA coming into this ball game. One of the few in the country that's sub-3 as a ball club. Sparger been a big part of that out of the bullpen. On for the 20th time. All 20 appearances have been out of the bullpen. Great control. Just 6 walks in 28 innings, excuse me, but he has given up 34 hits. We will see. Just gonna say, I would be surprised if they would let him come back out, and generally the handshakes mean that the decision has been made, but Brady Singer was outstanding today for the Gators.
Yeah, sure was. I would think the only way we would see him is if there was something else he could plug into on that bench beside the ice, you know, to kind of recharge the batteries like you do with your phone or your iPad, but I don't think they have that down there. And there's Alex Faedo over there to give him a hand. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch, Faedo and Singer.
Yeah, well, the third one's sitting right next to him, too. Jackson Kowar. If the score holds, well, even if the score doesn't hold, I would think that we would see Kowar in Game 3. 2 sophomores right there, roommates. Kowar, great stuff himself. Another mid-90s fastball. The difference there is he's the changeup guy. Singer's is the slider.
You get Dyson, you got Jackson Kowar, you got the closer in Byrne, you got Horvath, so you have some options in that play into the championship series game, and pretty good deep options. Remember, they brought Faedo out of the bullpen during that super regional.
And the reason they did was because of the rain delay of the first game. Started that first game, didn't go too deep. So he was going to be available for that game 3.
Popped up. Playable on the infield.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, pitcher went way over to kind of get in the mix. That would not be a good idea, so Sparger backed out. All right, go ahead, Eduardo. Let me hear you promo the Dodger game. We got Cody Bellinger and his 20 bombs. So give me a promo. Give me something good.
You want me to give you a promo on this? Well, come and watch this kid. 51 games, 21 home runs, leads the National League this season. I am telling you, he is must-watch TV coming up next.
Yes.
After this ball game.
You didn't even need a card. You start talking. What are you, 2 more last night? Was it 2 more last night?
2 more. How about this? He has 8 home runs when the man is on the mound, and that's Clayton Kershaw. 11 when he come on, really?
If you're going to endear yourself to somebody,
that'll buy you some dinners. He'll buy you some dinners like that, right?
Absolutely.
Buy a whole farm. Get Kershaw on your side. That game comes up next here. We're in the top of the 8th of this College World Series game. Both teams 1-0. Florida 5, Louisville 1. It's been the pitching of Singer and a couple of ding-dongs, home runs for the Gators. 3-run shot from Deacon Lippett and a solo act from Austin Langworthy. Ouch.
He loves to hit homers also when ESPN is televising. I think you guys actually did one of his games in the Little League World Series. Hit a home run, left center field.
Do we have him?
Yeah, Bellinger?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know if we personally did it, but he was definitely there. It's amazing. Don't you find more and more the number of Little Leaguers who have gone on to play Major League Baseball, but they drop off here in Omaha quite a bit. Bo and Bryce Jordan, just saw them yesterday. That one towards the seats and into the seats. A good effort by Lyman over there. But they played.
Got one here.
Ellis played.
Third base did.
Yeah.
Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Once again, looking forward to the coverage of the Little League World Series. End of August. Baseball tonight will join us there as well.
Sunday Night Baseball this year.
Major League Baseball. How about that? The Cardinals and the Pirates. Sunday Night Baseball from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Give a big shout out to Rob Manfred and Tony Petitti with Major League Baseball. They made it a top line agenda item when they took over to involve more and more youth playing baseball, and for Major League Baseball to get more involved, and they have certainly done that. And they're doing it again in Williamsport later this summer with the Cardinals and Pirates during the Little League World Series. There's your guy, Drew Ellis, name on the glove, tucked, and throwing seeds for Jeffersonville, Indiana. He was the stud, and he did it on the mound, he did it at the plate. 9 2/3. He threw 18 strikeouts. And there's always that 1 or 2 dudes on those Little League teams that you could expect, that type of strikeout number. He's that guy, and now he's playing third base for Louisville. This ball driven deep to center field. Taylor goes back and just shy of the track. He makes the play as J.J. Schwartz is denied. Fitch, man, McKay when we come back in the bottom of the 8th.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere.
Hope you're enjoying it from Omaha. Florida's got a 5-1 lead over Louisville. Brady Singer's night is over. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a walk, and 9 Ks. He was really dominant. He threw 101 pitches, and now he turns it over to that Florida bullpen. Question was, would it have been Tyler Dyson, or this guy, Nick Horvath, that came out? It's the junior out of Jupiter, Florida. You see his numbers. He did not appear in the Supers or Regionals, and he was beaten up a little bit his last 6 appearances, giving up 5 earned and 6 2/3. Prior to that, been pretty good.
Well, and he's in there just because of the part of the lineup that he's coming into face. So left, right, left is where Louisville goes for the next 3. Fitch in the 2 spot. Devin Mann hits right-handed in the 3 hole. Then Brendan McKay 4th. get past that, I would suspect that we will either see Byrne or Dyson out of that Florida bullpen.
Dyson 17 saves on the season. And we'll see how he does against Colby Fitch here. Dyson and Byrne continue to work in the bullpen. First pitch called strike from Horvath.
Dyson on the right, still throwing. Michael Byrne still watching right now.
I think Dyson's getting ready just in case for the 5-hole hitter Drew Ellis. Due up 4th this inning.
So you want to be a head baseball coach. That last inning, you can just imagine what was going on in the mind of O'Sullivan and in his stomach, how that was churning, kind of wishing that his starter Singer could somehow get an out, knowing full well that we're walking a tightrope here.
Yes, yes, because I think he knew what the stuff told him right there. And the ball was hit hard. Logan Taylor hit the ball hard. He just hit it right at Guthrie.
Oh, that's all set.
He's been good. Troy Fullwood, watch this pitch. It's outside. He doesn't budge. Mike Rivera wants it. Tries to sell it.
Good try. Good try to sell. They're looking for a fastball 1-2 to Fitch.
It's going to be a breaking ball.
On the line and pulled just foul. Fastball would have been better.
That's what a good take does for you. The previous pitch makes that pitcher now try to come a little bit more inside. If you make a mistake, I remember Joe Madden, my first hitting coach in the minor leagues, used to tell me, you better keep every ball fair that you barrel.
Joe Madden was your first hitting coach.
Minor league baseball. I got into Boise, Idaho, and he's waiting for me right there. So let's go hit.
That's outstanding.
First question he asked me, so what book are you reading?
Really? Is that right? Yeah. Baltimore chopper. Good job by Lippett to charge. And he's there. Hey, before we continue the story about Madden, let's take a look at tonight's Capital One Cup Impact Performance.
Stuff's been pretty good tonight for Brady Singer. Two-seam fastball was dancing all over the place. 9 strikeouts on the night for Singer. Got that late two-seam action to get Devin Hairston. But the last pitch might have been the most important. Bases loaded for Louisville in the 7th. Hard ground ball to the shortstop. Guthrie has it. Fist pump on the bench. And for Brady Singer, it's 7 innings. Gave up 6 hits. 5 of those came in the last 2 innings. Walked just 1, struck out 9. And in a position to get a big Game 2 win here in the College World Series and put the Gators in the driver's seat.
Devin Mann sky high to left, and Langworthy is there, and he one pitch is
That's
retired.
a huge out. That's a huge out because that's that righty that Coach O'Sullivan wanted him to get in order to go after Brendan McKay left on left. He didn't want McKay to hit with anyone on base.
Talked about Madden being your first hitting coach. Dan McDonald talked about one of the days that he spent with Joe Madden in a coaching clinic and how they ended up spending the whole day and night basically chatting, drinking some wine, talking baseball, and the impact that Madden has had on McDonald and others. You know, the Madden effect is a very real effect, a trickle-down effect to coaches throughout the college ranks and probably elsewhere. McKay pulls that foul. And McDonald's a big dude with the books, too. He's always reading to the team. He's giving them books. That whole concept of follow the roar is based off of a book that he was given. Run to the roar. He made the point. The idea is when a lion roars, you basically run away from it and you run into more trouble. In this case, you challenge yourself to go confront it. Best piece of advice Madden ever gave you?
Wow, great question. And there were so many at the time he was my hitting coach, so It was basically, he always told me, he goes, whatever you do, keep every ball you hit, as far as baseball, every ball you hit fair. And as I said, and that's one thing that stuck with me.
McKay behind 0-2. Reaches out and pulls one down the line, and it is into the corner, off the wall.
Don't know why he's in the baseball game. I don't know why he's in the baseball game. You got a 4-run lead in the 8th inning, and at this point, it's a defensive liability out in right field. Deacon Lippett just about took a handoff.
He's in pain. There's no reason for him to be out there. You're right about Deacon Lippett.
He did. Watch how far he goes out for the cut. I mean, it's a breaking ball that McKay has looked the part tonight for sure. But watch how far Lippett goes out for this cut.
You're hoping it goes over the fence.
Look at it. He's still running.
Oh, yeah, that's painful and uncomfortable.
I don't understand this one. I really don't. The other night is one thing, but it is a defensive liability in right field right now, and you have a 4-run lead, and you need 4 outs to win this game.
Is it possible there's a lack of awareness? Is that possible?
Well, I tell you, I mean, one thing, honestly, is the guy that would be in center field is standing on the mound right now. Horvat generally would go into center field. I would think with Ellis coming up right here that this is the spot that we would see Dyson. Here's the challenge. If you make the move with Horvath, you lose your DH.
But who cares?
I don't disagree with you at all.
Who cares? You have the lead.
Yeah, you're counting outs at this point.
I'm wondering.
I think he's going to do that. I think Horvath's going to go to center. I think Larson's going to go to right. Maldonado's going to come out, and Dyson's going to come into the mound.
Yeah, he's walking out. This should have happened 2 innings ago, though.
The reason that it didn't, I mean, I kind of started talking and realized the reason that it didn't is because he wanted to use Horvath on the mound and face the 2 guys, and now I think you're going to see the move. I think they'll lose the DH, and Maldonado will come out of the ballgame.
Okay, well, then why didn't you bring anyone else? I don't care if it's a position player out of position in right field to play that position.
Could have, yeah.
You're extending a kid that could get hurt even more.
Maldonado was running off. He then stopped over and gave a hug to his second baseman Lippett. I would think it's a good question to ask him post game, but just the amount of time, and given that bases loaded in that last inning, a ball to right field, you're getting 2 or 3 runs in.
I mean, they were fortunate, and that's Florida, fortunate enough that the ball was not hit that way with runners on base.
Looks like Tyler Dyson there with the Gatorade cup in his hands, making his way towards the door. Kevin O'Sullivan's explaining to the infield what's exactly happening, and we'll continue from Omaha here in the bottom of the 8th. Corey Seager, you know, you talk so much about Bellinger. There's another dude on that team, one of the best in baseball at shortstop, Corey Seager. And the Dodgers and the New York Mets are coming up next. Gesellman McCarthy on the mound. Los Angeles has started to play like we all expected the Dodgers to play, and the Mets just can't seem to get healthy. A couple of changes, and we'll iron it all out for you. But most importantly for the Gators of Florida is that Tyler Dyson out of Bradenton, Florida, the 6'2", 230-pound freshman, is on the mound. He gave you some of the numbers that he had in his last work. Dyson out of Braden River High School. Game 3 of the Supers, 5 innings, 7 Ks, 2 hits against Wake Forest. Christian Hicks has moved to first. J.J. Schwartz, who made the last out for the Gators, is out of the game. And Horvath, who was on the mound, has moved to right field. He will hit in the spot that Schwartz would hit. So he's going to be the 9th batter if they even get to him.
So the move is Hicks was the DH. Ryan Larson moves from center field to right field. Hicks was the DH. He comes in to play first base. Horvath technically is in for Schwartz, so Hicks hits in the same spot. And even though now you lose your DH, so Dyson goes into that spot, he would hit in J.J. Schwartz's position in the order. So offensively, it's a minimal impact unless you bat around, and if you do, who cares?
Right. Dyson straight up, helping Rivera look for it.
That's in the seats.
And it's in the seats. He pointed for a long time. Horvath is in center field. And Horvath will bat in the 4th spot. Kyle brought Dyson to the 3rd hole, and that's where he'll hit. But again, Schwartz made the last out, so it's a long way from that.
Nope. Nope. Still doesn't have it. I didn't.
Because why are you pointing? That's 30 rows deep.
But I do like that he looked at the bench. At least he's not looking at the other bench. He's looking at his bench. They're not going to lie to him.
How about Brendan McKay tonight? Kind of overshadowed, but a double. And then in this last at bat, another double.
But he hit a bullet to short, too, in his first at bat.
Ellis rips one foul.
This kid can really hit. Really hit. 3 home runs in that Kentucky Super Regional, and all of them were big. That's 95, and that is turned around.
Quick hands.
Yes.
Good move by Adam Dowdy to get out of the way. That the umpire down there at 3rd base.
Have a little whiplash on that one, trying to get out of the way.
Ellis is 0 for 3. Just missed.
Troy Fullwood, you get a gold star.
Yep. That's impressive. Best I've seen here so far. Just as good as can be. You're at home saying, oh, that's easy. Well, we've seen some calls.
Oh. 20 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Team highs for Louisville for this guy, Drew Ellis, and he went in the 2nd round of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You heard the story earlier. Laura thought he was going to go somewhere in the 60s. He ended up going 44th. Got one to hit. Dyson is the one over there, and then he gets called off.
What are pitchers doing? You have to love him.
Dyson went there quick, but he was helped by the new first baseman. Moving all over the place, but Florida through 8 is up by 4. It's gone! A 2-run home run for Busby. Hits it hard and through into right field. Gets by the right fielder. Breaks for home. Dropped it home, and we're tied. And LSU comes back in big fashion and wins the opener. Tomorrow, 7 Eastern time. There you see it. Cole Sands been confirmed. FSU is dialed in, and he'll go up against Jared Poche, who we saw in relief earlier this week. And with more on Poche, here's Laura.
Jared Poche, incredibly motivated throughout this entire season, guys. A lot of it has to do with being part of those Fab Four that came back. He was the last one to decide, but it was Kramer Robertson, Cole Freeman, Greg Dykman, and Jared Poche. And when Poche decided to come back, thanks to a lot of convincing by the other 3 guys, it was kind of like that final little push they needed, and they finally felt that extra confidence in having a guy like Poche in their rotation. Certainly a great compliment for somebody like Alex Lang, and then of course they had Eric Walker, who's been injured now here in the College World Series. But they feel great about their pitching staff due to Jared Poche's return, and he has a lot more wins than you might think. He's the winningest pitcher in LSU history.
Yes.
Just happened the other night. Win number 38 tied Scott Schultz at the top of that LSU list. It's now Riley Thompson on for Louisville to try to finish this one off and see if they can get their bats going in the bottom of the 9th.
Security was just called into service, so the Cardinal bullpen. You can tell they're losing 5-1. Beauty of being a college student, especially when you know you got another game to play.
Yep.
Regardless of the outcome of this one. Horvath gets his first whack at it. This is Beautiful. You come in, you pitch, you move to the outfield, and you bat. Chasing some high cheddar from Riley Thompson.
It's interesting, you don't see a lot of position players that are lefty throwers, righty hitters, but you do see a lot of pitchers that are lefty throwers, righty hitter.
He's a switch hitter, though.
And he's hitting from the right side against a pitcher that's throwing from the right side?
I know. That's why I kind of double take when I looked at it, but I know I've seen Horvath hit from the left side of the plate. Come on, I'm telling you. Why he's not doing it here, that I can't tell you. I don't know that, but
it's interesting.
It's a comfort factor.
Oh, did he go?
Troy Fullwood showing all sorts of energy, man. He jumped on Did He Go? The ninth inning, and he is the energy of a first inning umpire.
2-2.
All right, it does say it on the list. Switch hitter.
Kyle has seen.
I'm not doubting you.
One down. Hey, Mets and Dodgers are coming up. We've told you about that. But after that, haven't really got into what's coming up following the game. Kenny and what? Larry Beal. Aloha means goodbye. We're flashing back to like 90s. Where's Craig Kilborn? All the baseball highlights from the College World Series, the Major Leagues, plus the NBA draft news and everything else. This is good. The Old School Sports Center at night streams live on the ESPN app. Kenny Mayne and Larry Feel Good edition. I want Kilborn and Pito tomorrow night.
Dial them up.
Yes. Larry Beal. This ball elevated right center. Taylor there. You guys have any recollection of Craig Kilborn?
Yeah.
Killer and I used to do SportsCenter at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time.
2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Bet that got a little loose.
2:30 a.m. Eastern. Well, with him, everything was loose. Everything was loose with the Killer. He was beautiful. Beautiful. Funny dude. Then he got into some movies and hosted a late night show. But he was all part of the Kenny Mayne, Larry Beal generation. 2 down for Deacon Lippett, the home run hitter. That was so long ago, and you figure you got a College World Series. They weren't around when Craig Kilborn and I were doing SportsCenter, the college students. He was, trust me, he was big with the college students.
Oh.
He had a Pooh Richardson obsession. When anytime Pooh Richardson would play basketball,
he was getting on the television.
He would love Pooh. In fact, when Pooh Richardson wasn't playing, he would still mention Pooh Richardson.
Good one.
Called strike 2. Eddie, you do a lot of radio and you get handed cards to read, right? Promo cards.
Promo cards, yes. They send them via email.
When I was handed that card, I'm like, this is a joke, right? There's no way that Kenny Mayne and Larry Beal are doing a SportsCenter. What is this?
You thought you were being set up.
It's 1997. Like where are we? That
what
was
time?
like,
What time
wait
is
a
it?
second.
Oh, what
boy.
time?
What, the shows we used to do?
No, tonight. What time's it on?
Oh, after the game, 1 a.m. Eastern time, midnight here.
Yeah, might make a run for that.
Yeah, worth watching. That would be worth watching.
That'll make for a short night.
Very short.
You could watch that and go right to the airport.
Right to the airport.
Well, you're going to have to watch the Dodger game anyway because you're doing it tomorrow night. So you got to watch.
Got to do the homework.
Get a little Beale, Maine. Feel good.
6 a.m. flight. Here we go. Just a good old shut-eye all the way to L.A., I'll tell you that.
It will.
I will not feel a thing.
Guy next to you might.
Oh, he will. I always do the disclaimer before. Sorry. For what? You'll see.
And I'll see you in 2 hours.
It can't be specific, but I apologize in advance.
Nowhere to connect the CPAP. I scream sleep apnea tomorrow in the morning.
Having Mike Rivera back has really stabilized the Gators, their pitching staff, the running game from the opponent. His presence has made a big difference. He missed some time with a broken handmade himself. Just in time for the SEC tournament came back. This one is to left. And into the glove of Josh Storrs. Bottom 9 coming up. Hairston will lead things off, followed by Lyman and the guy that just caught the baseball. Florida's 3 outs away from joining Oregon State as a 2-0 team. And the other night, Oregon State ambushed LSU. LSU helped them a lot by issuing a dozen walks, but there was a grand slam in that game, the first one in TD Ameritrade Park history. So they will be back on the field, but it's a comfortable position to be in. Pat Casey's club 2-0, and I'm not sure if you've caught the number overall, but 56-4 on the season. 56
good
and 4.
56 on the good side and 4 on the downside.
Florida trying to join them at 2-0. As you see, all but 4 of the last 27 have won it by winning their first 2 games. It sets your pitching up, gives you some time off, and it, most important, doesn't require you to be on the field 3 and 4 days, or in the case of the second group, 3 and 3 days you got to win.
Dyson's still out there.
Yep. Louisville needs base runners.
Michael Byrne, he of 17 saves on the year. Waits in the bullpen, but they'll roll with Dyson right now. A kid whose stuff has just gotten better, better the way that the season has gone on.
Guys, Tyler Dyson didn't pitch until his senior year of high school. He was a shortstop and third baseman before that. And when he got to Florida, Kevin O'Sullivan said, yeah, I think I can work with this guy and help him pitch. They adjusted his arm angle a little bit, put him in a higher arm slot. He was dropping his elbow before that, and he said it was just making him push the ball instead of throw it. Once he learned how to do all that, the velo went up. He was around 89, 91 in high school. Now 97 he's touched, and Kevin O'Sullivan thinks he can hit 100.
That was just high. Well, that's one thing that we don't talk a lot about. You know college basketball and football coaches a lot better than you do college baseball coaches. As a teacher and a developer of pitchers, where do you rank that guy?
He's been incredible. He's been now, he's an incredible recruiter, so that's part of it. I mean, he's getting guys there with a supreme amount of talent, and he's also got some guys to turn down real money. Brady Singer was the highest drafted player that went to college. That's a pretty good one to start with. But for guys like Dyson, Michael Byrne last year, and part of it was because the pitching staff was loaded, but Byrne didn't throw much at all. Michael Byrne has 17 saves the following year and has thrown over 70 innings for his Florida club. So yes, he was an outstanding developer of pitching talent.
Well, you talked about it a couple of years ago. You look at the White Sox, just the White Sox, and the prospects that they have in their system. That includes Carson Fulmer, Dane Dunning, who was a Gator. They've added Lincoln Hensman of Louisville. They added McClure of Louisville. They have Zach Birdie, who was with Louisville. That system alone, just with this program alone, These two programs are loaded with guys. Grounded a short, Guthrie there to field it. A couple years ago, they had guys that you may end up with 4 or 5 pitchers in the major leagues. This is the White Sox alone. So you know there's other programs and teams out there, obviously, but all these names so familiar. And you got a Florida Gator there in Dane Dunning, a couple of Cardinals, Fulmer from Vanderbilt, Zach Collins, Zach Birdie. But I'm thinking about the team that Dunning was on.
Very good
that had
list.
I'm telling you,
on
last year, so that, and I'll probably forget a few names.
Puck.
But Puck, Shore, Dunning, Scott Moss, the left-hander that didn't pitch until the end of the year. The Reds took him in the 5th or 6th round, and he's tearing up the Midwest League. Faedo.
Kirby Snead.
Yeah, left-hander Kirby Snead, matchup guy. Sean Anderson, the closer. There could be 7 guys from one college pitching staff that pitch in the big leagues.
Again, you mentioned Singer. You know, he was drafted really high and passed up money. So he and his family made the decision. You can get developed at Florida or take the money and begin your professional career.
It doesn't always work this way. I mean, it doesn't always end up a positive financial decision. Obviously, there's been situations where it's not. But let's do the math here. I mean, kid stays healthy, he's going to go top 10 overall next year. Based on where he was drafted, double your money, the minimum, plus your 3 years towards a college education, you get a chance to potentially play for a national title.
And your arm doesn't get as much abused as it does in the minor leagues.
The A's top prospect just signed. Top 3 pick, $5.5 million, $5.3 million. Singer could be in the top 3 next year.
Oh yeah,
you're slotted. You're getting $5 million. And you had three years at Florida, and you pitched in Omaha a couple times. That worked out.
That one's pretty good.
Dyson with a strikeout. There's 2 down. Louisville down to its final out. John Shambi chiming in from Los Angeles. He'll have the call of the Mets and Dodgers. First pitch of that one still about 6 minutes away, so you're not missing anything. And he has asked us if we're going to toss directly to him to make it special.
How are you going to make it special?
I haven't thought of that. You have any suggestions?
It is being contemplated right now.
Any suggestions? In there for a strike. Last year during the College World Series, there was that red-haired guy that the camera focused on, and he stared at the camera forever and ever. Through like 3 innings, he never took his eyes off the camera.
2 years.
That was John Shambi, like, 30 years ago.
We've had it the last 2 years. We had him, and then 2 years ago we had Little Boog. Little Boog. Remember Little Boog?
Yes, Little Boog. So we're going to send it to Boog Sr. But yeah, Little Boog and guy from last year staring into the camera. So I assume when we do the direct toss, Boog will begin the telecast by staring into the camera and saying nothing.
Only right.
If you're asking for some specialness here, then we expect something back.
Well, I can tell you this. There are a lot of people here in Omaha that do miss John. They send them messages all the time.
Dyson to Stores, 1 and 2. So moving forward, Kyle, are the Gators in the same class as Oregon State, or is Oregon State, just because of what they've done all year, separated themselves?
I think that Oregon State has separated themselves some, but in a short series, anything can happen. Now, obviously, work to do for both. Oregon State is deeper on the mound. Florida, it's hard to say anybody is better than Florida 1-2, though, from a starting rotation standpoint. We've seen them both, and both have been electric.
Speaking of electric, yeah, sure is. Dyson gets the job done. They don't tap into Byrne, the closer. And they win it 5-1 thanks to Brady Singer, who's out there celebrating, and a couple of long bombs. Good omen for the Gators. They have started the finals both times when they have started 2-0. So they've got themselves in the driver's seat. Now all they got to do is finish the job and get to the championship series. Same goes for Oregon State, but two tremendous games coming up Wednesday and Thursday. Hope you'll join us. LSU and Florida State. Last year they won it for Gilly, the coach of Coastal Carolina, and this year the sentimental story, try to win it from Mike Martin. And then, of course, on Thursday, Louisville and TCU. For Laura Rutledge and her great storytelling down on the field and up here in the booth, Eduardo Perez, good luck tomorrow night in Los Angeles. We'll miss you, bud.
You got it, brother.
Fly safe. Kyle Peterson. I'm Carl Ravitch. It is now time to send it to the man who is missed in Omaha, but he's big in Los Angeles right now. Big Boog Sciambi, Dodgers and Mets.